Welcome to the Deadly Addiction channel. Today, I'm going to be talking about Stranger Things. By the way, I got fucking, I don't know, I still got like 4 strikes type thing on my channel. I don't give a fuck about those. But yeah, you can't use shit anymore. Like, these fucking bots get you. And I'm a fucking teeny tiny fucking channel. In any case, Stranger Things. I finally finished season 4 and 5. I had done a podcast earlier. I think I did it for Patreon, but all right, when this show started, I had, things going on in my life, and between it starting and it ending, my fiance passed away, my mom, my dad, a friend or two. It's just fucking hectic, but I finally got around to watching season 4 and 5, completing the series, and I thought I'd talk about it. I'll go over like the first couple of seasons in general, but I'd like to focus more on 4 and 5 in a general sense, but who knows? I don't really time these things too much, except I sort of hit around the 35 to 45 minute mark. I'm not sure how long this will be. So Stranger Things to me is always going to be a beloved series. So I like it overall. Love season 1 and season 2. Are there problems? Yes. However, when you get attached and you got good writing mixed in, great characterizations, awesome performances, you're going to love it in a general sense. And for all audiences, I think this works, horror, sci-fi. You got this, the nostalgia, the 80s. It just hit big, in my opinion. Kind of like, I would say Game of Thrones and stuff, but I feel Game of Thrones with that niche of just, like a medieval type thing. It kind of doesn't automatically appeal to everybody, but Stranger Things, for the most part, for me, is just like that. It'll appeal to everybody. You got kids, adults, the ones that are in that age range are perfect to just suck all the nostalgia up. Plus, you got young kids fascinated. But besides giving it a little bit of praise and the respect for season 1, and in my opinion, season 2, because if I had to put them in order right now, my favorite seasons are season 1, season 2, season 4, season 3, and season 5. So for me, they didn't nail the ending in that last season. However, again, there's no season I don't like. There's not even an episode I don't like. I even like the fucking Lost Sister, whatever, episode with Callie, which I thought they just did a disservice to when they brought her back. But there are problems or bad habits, I think, that the Duffer Brothers suffer from, and it just gets worse throughout the seasons. And I can see where people who are just not going to be enamored by, the characters they love, and when you start to think and analyze things, especially for some of these people who do these podcasts that really go deep and figure things out and enlighten people to a certain extent, I think it could be frustrating and annoying. So I get that back and forth. Will it go down as one of the greats? I think so, despite it being kind of a downward spiral. And I don't know. I'm going to say it right now. Season 5 is not a fucking disaster. It doesn't ruin the fucking show in any way, in my opinion. However, it's, for me, the least quality, the least exciting. I don't know if this is a show I would watch all the way through over and over. Definitely season 1 and 2. For me, they seem like a seamless continuation. The kids look similar. They don't have any, amazingly huge growth spurts. But we've got a series created by the Duffer Brothers. And it's in like every drama, right? It's got horror, mystery, drama, supernatural, coming of age, so like I said, it does hit everything. I'm going to give credit to every single fucking actor in this show. Winona Ryder, fucking amazing. And despite what the characters are given, the shitty writing at times. I'm going to give credit to every single fucking actor. They all are amazing to a certain extent. David Harbour. Now, there will be things like Finn Michael Wolfhard, whatever. He plays Mike. Not enough. And they didn't, stick to their vision, or my vision of him, right? I mean, because that's what it really is. Millie Bobby Brown, what an enchanting performance in the beginning, and an amazing child actor who, just gripped the nation, and it says, the world. And I give kudos to her for everything she did every season. Gaetano Matarazzo, awesome. One of the better actors who grew up on the show. Carlo McLaughlin, Lucas. What a fucking great actor that they didn't utilize enough. I'll get into certain things, but, getting people into these niches of like, he's the boyfriend, or it's not this show's strengths. And I don't think they went with their strengths, but I got to give creativity and all that stuff. So Natalie Dyer, love her. However, another character. By the end of season 2 to season 3, she should have been on her own. Fuck this triangle. But I love her in the show. She's one of my favorites. Despite the fucking shotgun Nancy, I love her in that sense. And that fucking last season, she's killing fucking like army people, like real life people. And I think Hopper like says, good shooting, pats her on the back. Fucking, it's insane. Charlie Heaton. Now this is the older brother of Will, who gets kidnapped in a sense, and there's no spoilers, right? I mean, anyway, now this is a character. I like the actor. I like everyone has their moments in work, and it really pays off most of the time. But you should have kept him as the solid big brother trying to find his way. He's on these adventures, and he's with Steve and the fucking girl and Nancy. And then what they do in the last season, I mean, wasted potential, I think I could say, that would be my thing. Also Noah Schnapp deserves an award. Give him fucking everything. And another thing I want to make really, pronounced is these were children. We all know fucking children actors. What's really going on in their brain? We don't really know. We see what happens in the general sense for whatever, if you want to play the numbers game, what happens to children actors as they grow up. And is it the environment, their parents, like, what is motivating them? And to get kids to do the first season, and it is amazing. It's near perfection, a masterpiece, let's say. I got to give them credit, and Noah is one of the best, and I'll get to like the season 5 stuff, but kudos. I don't give a fuck about assholes online, Good for you, good for the whole fucking team, everybody. You got Sadie Sink. Again, some of these are like new additions. I'll try to get into that a little bit. And one of my favorites is Joseph Carey. Steve, to hear Harrington. I mean, you got a great method sometimes, this show. It got this douche asshole going out with Nancy type of thing, even being a real jerk off about it afterwards. And he turns into one of the best characters on the show. Again, is everybody's potential given? No, but his is close. By the time the last season comes around, he has, in my opinion, with Dustin, one of the best scenes in the whole show. But it's them trying to get through this whole show. Again, some of these aren't the children actors per se, but again, if I'm going to go with Will, Mike, Lucas, Dustin, kudos, you deserve awards, applause, And I can't imagine, like, you start the show, super popular, famous, but these are children, so who the fuck knows what they want to do in life? But they came back and they did it again. And whether it's a mistake, I think it's mostly a mistake the way they planned out the show. Because I don't believe the bullshit about having everything storyboarded season 1. No. If it started in season 2, it was still a mistake because you can't put these fucking grown adults in these fucking outfits and stuff and make it work. Season 5 is a jarring, fucking glaring issue for me with just do it. Give 11 slacks, a fucking, a blazer jacket, something to make it was fucking ridiculous, but I kind of get to that. Every child on this fucking show, amazing. The fact that they came back over and over and did it again, who knows? But I don't fucking know what I wanted to do. But they get so much fame, they get all this stuff, and they're fucking people. And when you got a character who's gay and going through life, he starts on the show super famous, what the fuck is that doing? And every child actor on the show, the fact that they come back, even if they're not giving pivotal stuff, stay in the background, say a couple of words, you're awesome. Every fucking child actor on the show should be applauded, should be given lifetime awards, because you got a show that did 5 seasons over 10 fucking years. And let's be honest, it's really only 3 seasons. There's so much fluff and nonsense in this show. But again, if you're going to endear us to these characters, we're going to go through it. And for the majority, it's not going to affect them. They're going to like the show, love it, which is on the borderline. I enjoy the show as a whole. Not really a bad, horrible, terrible season. Not really a bad, terrible episode. Sorta. There were moments. But the kids growing up. And again, you bring in Sean Astin, Paul Reiser. Well, Matthew Modine is he does come back, but give everybody a round of applause. This is fucking... I don't think you're going to see this much anymore. They all try it, right? Now, I'm not saying that, again, if the 5th season is the worst for me, does it, take it out of the running? I don't know. I do this with music too. Like, to me, if you have 22 episode seasons like the X-Files, you go 8 solid seasons, then come back and do another 2 with the new format premise, 2 movies. It's up there in a realm that I don't think a show like this could ever touch. Now, that's in critical acclaim type. Not that I'm not going to be... I might watch Stranger Things more often, and because that's what I'm in the mood for. I'm a dungeon master and game master. So a lot of this just really hits my heart. But I could see people go, no, you can't do 5 seasons, 8 episode, 9 episode seasons. I'll give credit that they do they don't adhere to a 41 fucking minute episode. They'll go over an hour, 2 hours, like when you're getting towards the end. I'll give them credit for that. But there's too much filler, and it seems like what's the phrase? I think it Bilbo says, like too little butter spread over too much bread. Like you have to learn those moments and how to arrange them into real flowing conversations and plot actions that are going on. And that's why I think season 1 or 2 are my favorites. There are things about season 4 I fucking am so impressed with and love. But for God's sake, the fucking story, like, I know it's just your method or whatever, but I'm so bored in parts of this fucking show. So there is that balance. All right, I'm gonna come out of here and really fucking surprise people, maybe. But my MVP of the show, I think people will be surprised. Who came through with me in the end in the show that made me endear it to even all the shitty parts? And it's a 3rd season character introduced. And now, granted, the originals to me, they're magic. of course, they're my favorites in that sense. But who came through in the end? And it's Maya Ray Thuman Hawk. I'm sorry, Robin is my favorite fucking character on this show. Now, I didn't know until 10 minutes before I got my outline thing and I went online and did I got one of the pages up, the wiki pages and stuff, that I find out that she's the daughter of Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman. Did not know, had no clue. And I loved her from season 3. She's got, for me, the most natural acting chops for this genre / time nostalgia bit. She works for me on every level, but the writers make it hard. You know, some of the dialogue that comes up later and stuff, for every character, you said it in the 80s and you wanted to stick there, but you should have fucking made these time jumps be way more normal relative to everybody. I guess season 1, 2, and you took a chance on season 3. You know, okay, the kids are growing and they got that look to them. It kind of still works. It's just like, not that I don't hate season 3, but I don't like the way it was put together. And, but I do like the fact that they took Max's older brother in the second season, made him the douche, bully, asshole, and made him part of the villain thing. That progression, smart, and you did it right. So there are reasons why I like it. But when you start getting to season 4 and 5, you really need to have readjusted and said, look, we can't do this in 86. It can't be 2 years later, 18 months later. It can't be. I'm sorry. And if you're going to go with it, then dress them better. Some of these outfits are just dumb. And it just pulls me out here and there. Again, the good overweighs the bad, in my opinion. I just... after I did my thing, I did a short little thing looking around, and I noticed the thumbnails, season 5 is a disaster, season 4, I don't think so. In my opinion, this is not close to Game of Thrones. Okay. I wasn't a big, it is similar for me in one sense. So, loved first season of Game of Thrones. By season 3, I couldn't take it no more. When season 4 started, I was lost. I gave up. And it was a struggle over years to fucking finish Game of Thrones from to the end. I'm not like that with this. Although, granted, again, only 5 seasons, maybe 80 episodes or whatever. This won't be like that for me. No way. And I get this feeling that it will still go down as one of the great shows and what it did for pop culture and Dungeons and Dragons and, that nostalgia bit with kids. And I think it opened up a lot of things and what's coming after. So I'm going to give kudos all around to everybody, even the Duffer Brothers. I mean, fucking guys, guy had a baby, poor guy. He used to be able to do it 7 days a week. And he can't, I watched some of that bullshit. And who's the fucking asshole in season 5 who goes, I don't know, I'm worried about demo fatigue. You're a fucking nut job. All right. So there I give you a general sense. I love the first 2 seasons. I enjoy the whole show as a whole. Nothing is terrible for me. Not a disaster. Doesn't fucking ruin anything. But I have my problems. But going over things in a general sense, we got season 1. Will Byers, he gets abducted by a creature. Now, watching season 4 and 5, you did unnecessary retcons and you're changing things about the past a little too much. I get it that you see this opening, it fits, and you go, okay, let's do it. And hey, it works, right? I think so many problems are solved with just good writing. And when the show starts suffering from bad writing, things start getting amplified. They pile up on each other, in a sense. And by the way, I'm having one of those fucking mornings, so I'm knocking shit over, trying to enjoy my coffee. It's one of those mornings, So there might be a delay or two here and there. So we got the first season with Will getting, and then you find out that it's not just a demogorgon, whatever the fucking creature, because it's really, you find out Vecna working with the Mind Flayer because they're kind of one, or they're in agreement. It's revealed, sort of. Again, it gets really fucking, the waters get muddied. But when you look at it from a first season start off point, it's amazing. Like, thinking back now, it seems a little excessive. Like, you don't need to change so many things. Because not only is Will, the Demogorgon, sent by him, you see parts of where he's taken, and he's like an action kid jumping from tree to tree. Like, it's, you don't need to do so much, but I get it. Will Byers, the fucking actor, everybody. And nothing really is terrible, in my opinion. Doing the CGI works when it needs to work. You don't do it too much. I feel like they, at least try. So that's good. But Will is kidnapped after playing D&D with his friends, and the town, goes crazy. And this is where, you look at Winona Ryder and her fucking performance. All the kids, holy shit! It's a mystery. Things are unfolding. You got the, you don't really know about Hopper too much. He's like on the edge, but he's concerned. And he has issues. I think they did it right. And the reason why I mention that is because you can't keep flip-flopping these characters through 5 seasons and have some of the same things reiterated. Which is why I can't put it for me in that it's great from beginning to end. I can look at Battlestar Galactica and understand why people don't like the last episode. Or The Sopranos, like things that make you go, well, why the fuck you do that? But because of the bad habits that they started, and they kind of, I'll bring out a point about season 1, that it just grated on people's nerves after a while. So, for instance, as this mystery is unfolding, the mother, we know the writer is insisting he's alive. His friends are in a panic looking what's going on. Hopper, the sheriff, I guess, or deputy guy, it's like a small town type thing. And they're doing the reveal of 11, which was awesome. Kid in a experimental lab type thing. But let's point out one thing, and something that they do where by the last season it's fucking ridiculous. So there's a scene where Hopper is investigating, and when the town finds Will's body and they bring him to the morgue and stuff, the mother insists he's still alive. Hopper investigates and he finds out that the body of Will is just a very good-looking dummy. Now, they drug him and send him home. Now, obviously, you're not killing Hopper in the first episode. But here's what the problem is shaped as. Like, you got to remember how it's framed. In this show, 11, who's escaped the facility, is eating in a diner. This nice chef, owner of the diner or whatever, calls the people to see, there's a kid in my store. They come in and they brutally kill him in seconds for even reporting it, being near the kid, and have any interaction with the kid. But yet they drug Hopper and send him home. It might not feel like a lot in the beginning. It's the first season, and yeah, Hopper can't die. But if you're not going to write in, which sometimes can be silly, things like, no, he'll bring too much attention, he's too big, you gotta, when you put that stuff in, it's got to be written well, and it's got to be somewhat believable. Like, no, we just had the nation, like the whole nation knows about a missing kid in fucking bumfuck Indiana, wherever the fuck it is, Hawkins, and we can't have a fucking sheriff go missing. We can't produce another body. Like, this can get difficult. So let's drug him. We're scientists. We do experiments. We know about the brain. Like maybe he'll forget certain things. And you frame it also as, look at me, he drinks and he's not all together as a fucking sheriff type thing. And you find out about his past, about his daughter dying of cancer. He brought it back from like Nam with Agent Orange, that type thing. Riveting stuff, great stuff. But when you just look at this moment, Hopper finds out everything, knows the kid's alive, there's something going on in this lab, and they just drug him and send him home. When the fucking chef of the diner, who you could have just came and said, well, Child Protective Services, and that guy would never fucking thought about it again, except for the one or two people who would come into his store, maybe his diner, and ask. No, but they fucking killed him and made it look like he killed himself, like it was like an exit wound. Now, when that builds up over seasons, and you've got this dialogue and this format and these, in my opinion, bad habits of trying to separate people, bring new people in and give them quality stuff, your show's going to suffer. So the whole first season is them figuring out, as well, 11, she's got psychic powers. Oh my God, and these are kids, right? And Mike gets a crush on her. And they're bringing everything because Nancy's and Jonathan are the older brothers of Mike, brother and sister. And Jonathan's the older brother of Will, who was missing. And again, there's that connective tissue with the mom doing everything she can. No one's believing her. She's frantic. Winona Ryder is amazing in the show. I don't give a fuck what she's like in real life, because I'd probably like to smoke a joint, hang out, and talk to her. I mean, yeah, I probably did have a crush on her for a good portion of my fucking life. But good for her. Amazing portrayal, the characterization. So, you got to get through the first season of awesomeness, and it's not hard. The Demogorgon, like everything works. You find about this place called the Upside Down, which eventually they just kind of retcon. Retcon is retroactive continuity, where they change something, And, again, you look at the first season on its own, and it's just a masterpiece in a sense, but you don't have to mess with it so much. But I see the way you want to grow your story, connect the tissue, and make it seem like it fits, and it's a natural progression of what was really going on. So I get it, Again, I enjoy the show overall. I just think the first two seasons were its high point. Now you gotta get to the end of the story. They gotta find Will, L's L, because 11 they call her L. You find out her real name is Jane eventually. She's got to help the team, recover Will, and she's got to fight the Demogorgon. And when she destroys it at the end, she vanishes. Now, there are several things that are kind of connected and retconned and revealed in flashbacks over the whole thing. So I'll really quickly just try to go over it. So it's like the 50s of fucking something, and it's either the Manhattan Project or the Philadelphia Experiment type thing, where like they phase out of existence. And they show that in season 5, where people like stuck in the walls and it's melting. I think that's that. So it really starts when we open up a hole to this other universe or world, dimension. And then through flashbacks and stuff, because it's happening supposedly really in the first season, but you're not seeing it, at the time. So as 11's being experimented on, you find out, which again, it's too much. I don't need to know that the numbers, because that's the experiment, the numbers 11, 8, 1, that they get their powers from the number one's blood, which I think is kind of a mistake. Whatever, but it's that confrontation which she has in the past where Henry is number one, but he's given a suppressor tracker device, so he can't use his powers, but he's like an orderly. He helps out, and you're kind of piecing together what happened from the flashbacks. And she helps him take the tracker out. He becomes a fucking maniac, kills like all the kids. And again, they're trying to piece together her breakout, like what happened, what led up to it. And she has to confront Henry. And when she kills him, she sends him to this other dimension. And in the process, she didn't open a portal to the Upside Down, because it's revealed that the Upside Down is just a wormhole, and that it leads to the Abyss, Dimension X, whatever the fuck they want to call it. And then what is revealed in the show sort of is she loses her powers. Matthew Modine, Papa, whatever the fuck, because that's kind of eerie. I didn't like it on rewatch. That he's got to look for Henry, like he's amazed. Again, and I don't know if it's the play or if it's fucking little things I watched or whatever, but back from the Philadelphia Manhattan experiment, it was a survivor of the ship or whatever the fuck the experiment was done on. He had a piece of exotic matter, or the mind player, I don't fucking know. And that's how Henry got his powers. Again, this is season 4 or 5 Revelations, and it's, retconning what just happened in season 1. So there's a lot of shit going on when you start thinking about how it comes together afterwards. But all in all, it's an amazing show. Elle saves everybody, kills the Demigorgon. Again, there is like a rift in time-space from when she killed Henry and trying to get her powers back up to max. Papa, the fucking doctor, Matthew Modine, tries to put her in like isolation. She breaks out, and that's kind of what we see. And, because even in season 2, the rift is forming. I don't know, it's growing like a contagion, and it's creating tunnels, which is also another retcon, but I think it's okay. So the kids get Will back. There's a little bit of a, oh no, what is wrong with Will? The kids, the adults, I think everything works well. And if you wanted to play with boyfriend, girlfriend, I have a crush, okay, you did it. But you start overdoing it. And that's how the season, to me, progressed with Bad Habits, I guess I'm saying. So you win, you beat the Demigorgon. Elle is a massive powerhouse, adorable, captivating, all the kids the same way. Again, Will's actor, kudos to him, what he's got to do and what he had to do even afterwards is fucking insane. But great. So you got the second season. Again, this is my second favorite season. It feels natural, like a natural progression. The kids look nearly the same. You're gonna do a different little theme in the Halloween thing that dressed as a Ghostbusters. It was like the trailer of the year type thing, and I think they did a good job. But the methods they use, the bad habits, are evident. And this is why I think the show, when it's analyzed and stuff, more without the, I had so much fun watching it, it starts to fall apart. Now, you got a notorious episode in this season, but in the gist of things, Will's still suffering. You know what's going on with Will. He survived the first one. Joyce went on a ride, is dating a new guy. It's fucking Samwise Gamgee. I think his name is Bob Newby in the show. But Will is still affected by this entity. I think they call it eventually the Mind Flayer. So he's kind of connected to it, and it's going through this progression. I think this is where they term it as a hive mind. The Mind Flayer. I'm trying to look real quick. And you get the new character, Max Mayfield, which I like a lot. This is when you team up Dustin with Steve Harrington. Probably the best relationship type friendship in the show. from beginning to end. And they fucking try to like raise a baby Demogorgon. But this season, you know, it starts to do that thing. It's trying to give characters their moments and quality stuff, but yeah, it's stuff. I bring this up a lot, but when you watch Buffy, who the fuck thought when you saw Cordelia in the first couple of episodes, the first season, to the second season, to the third season, and on, become this fucking snooty bitch to this dear friend, to this ally, to heading the show as the lead actress on Angel? You do it by good fucking writing. And here's another thing. When you want to start bringing up the shit, I'll get to, like, because I'll try to get to the quick with the 4 and 5, kill everybody. I mean, again, it started in season 1, like I said, with Hopper. You know, you kill him. I mean, you just killed the diner guy for no fucking reason. Here you got a guy you could say he's worried about his daughter. He blew his fucking brain. Oh, whatever. But never did I watch Starsky and Hutch and wait for fucking someone to kill Hutch or Starsky. Was there tension at times? Sure. The Bionic Man, Bionic Woman. Star Trek, yeah. Oh, why don't they fucking kill Geordi? Like, it doesn't happen. And it doesn't happen because good writing, great characterizations prevent that feeling from going to the viewer. Right? When you're watching, like, Buffy, when things do happen, they mean something because that moment was important. The moment doesn't become important when every second you're showing something and then holding back. And they did this with Alien Earth. If you're going to show a creature that can fucking mangle 15 or 15 military army guys, slash them to bits and stuff, you can't have them hesitate and do different things when they fight a main character's mom or fucking one of the main characters. And now that becomes frustrating in the later seasons. But like I said, with season 1 and going to season 2, it's evident. And then you can get around these things with, like, great characterizations. You know what they did with Willow and even the lesbian stuff. Like, if you do things right and good, I mean, I know it's who says what's right, but you can see the bad habits were in the show, and it's their style, it's their way of working, and I don't begrudge them for that. That's why I still give kudos to these guys. They did a great job, in my opinion, for that. But we've got season 2 wrapping up with Will and how's he affected, what's going to happen to him. It's a hive mind. You can't hurt the hive mind. And then one of the retcons they do is there's tunnels all over the fucking town now. And Will's connection to the hive mind is, I thought it was pretty cool. But he says things like, think mom is going to run him a hot bath, got to get your temperature up. And he's like, no, he likes it cold. And then he draws like all these pictures, and when you put them all together, it shows the tunnels. So I understand why in season 4 or to 5, where Vecna tells him, oh yeah, you dug those tunnels. I used your mind while you were sleeping or whatever, and you controlled the vines and you dug the tunnels. It does make a little sense. It does fit. He is onto it at that time. And not just because he's connected in some way, but he was being used more than people thought. And you might think, well, it works, Joe, whatever. But when you take that and analyze it and then apply it everywhere else, and you see how many times it's done in different situations, in different contexts, but not as good or too forced, you see a show that is not a masterpiece from beginning to end. And I think by the time I get through this, I'll just kind of lean towards understanding what is, the ultimate ending of the show. But, we've got to get Elle separated. She meets ate Kali, and there's that infamous episode. I like it. I don't hate it, dislike it. I don't remember, getting pissed off at it. It's just a chapter in Elle's life. She had to go out and, because the whole show is, this season is her staying away from the kids, Hopper keeping her in a cabin, trying to, be a parent type thing. And it's that type of conflicts and stuff that happen. And I thought it's done really well. Again, but when you look forward and see the same arguments, or they went back and now Hopper's from season 1, he's in season 3, but season 4 is season 3. You're just trying to service the other characters, but you're not really adding to the foundation of greatness that the show had, and which has it. Like I said, it comes and goes, in my opinion, but it's there. So you got to get this thing wrapped up, but Elle comes back. She helps them. Joyce's new boyfriend gets killed. Poor guy. And she has to watch it. And 11 seals the gate, the rift to the Upside Down in Hawkins' laboratory. And this is, I think, where the problems start, because, again, season 1 and 2 are my favorites. You kind of got the connections. There's the Dustin Lucas like Max, and it's Max and Lucas who kind of get together and have a great relationship, even to the last season. But there are issues that come up. Dustin, all these actors, again, kudos to all of you. Again, these first 2 seasons, in my opinion, are like magic. I just don't think I can honestly say season 2 is better than 1. It's just not. Season 1 is magic in the way it came out, how it worked. But I'll say, Finn Wolfhard, Millie Bobby Brown, Gatton, I don't know how to, Matarazzo, what is it, Noah? It's just, Noah Schnapp. Just fucking amazing. But we got to get to season 3, and it's like, all right, it's set 9 months later. Now remember, well, I didn't say it, but you got season 1 in 83. The next season is 11 months later in 84. And besides, what it takes to normally write these things and film them or whatever, it's maybe not totally their fault, but I'll get into the bullshit that I think happens. We got the 3rd season that's 9 months later in 1985. And I'm sorry, you should have just said it's 8. Like, you should have matched them with their age better, because it's starting to show here. However, it's still a fun season, but this is like a lot of where the jokes come in and it gets a little bit more goofy. However, it introduces my favorite fucking Robin. I love this woman. Did not know she was the child of 2 actresses. Did not know till this fucking podcast. Opening the wikis and stuff. I enjoy the season. I just don't rank it as one of my favorites or the best. I give 4 a little bit more, and then I go back to 3, and then 5 is like my least favorite. But here's where we get a great payoff with Billy, Max's older brother, who's I think he's like a stepbrother type thing. I don't know if it's adoption, but he's an asshole, abusive moron, bully, jerk off. And he becomes a host for the Mind Flayer. And you're still getting connections with Will, like what's going on. But I think this is a good season with Elle's growth. Kind of bonding with Max, I think, at times. And you've got the introduction of a mall, But again, they have to have a subplot that the mall was created by Russians underground to work on getting the rift open or demo. Like, you might think that's okay. It's one plot and a subplot, but you got so many characters now, and you're giving them fucking quest like. Again, season 1, season 2, you had these moments where they had to come together, come up with a plan, and the languages, taken from certain things, and maybe D&D or some movie that came out, nostalgia, we're nailing this to that, and those connections work. But as the cast grows by season 3, it's all over the place, and you've got too much funny here with funny there. The quiet moments don't resonate as much as the quiet moments would here. It, again, just begins to dilute what I believe is what would maintain great show from beginning to end. But this is a fucking zany fucking season. Steve gets hooked up with Robin. They become great friends, even though she comes out as a lesbian. And I loved it. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit no more. And I only say no more because, I'm a fucking kid. I was young and stupid. I don't know what the fuck was going on. But, I've come to understand fucking nonsense with people. Let them be who the fuck they want. Let shows do what the fuck they want. Is it going to be good or not? If you did it good, you did it good. As simple as that. I don't think this show eventually gets it right totally, but you've got a crazy fucking season. I love Robin introduced. They're at the mall. Again, they take a genre twist and a nostalgia bait, and they kind of pay it off in certain ways. You're going to mention a certain movie and have a certain outfit on a t-shirt. I think it works on so many levels, but it's diluting everything, and you've got this really seemingly desperate fucking battle coming up because Billy is fucking getting more carriers or hosts for this fucking mind flayer, and it becomes like a meat blob that comes together. Again, this show takes from Aliens, The Thing, Halloween, like it tries to do, and I think it does it well. Again, I don't shit on the show in the general sense, but you've got Billy again, perfect fucking actor you love to hate, acting like everything's almost perfect. What an idiot! What a bully! What a fucking charismatic guy! He can get the women, that type of thing, and then they do the thing where, because the host takes over, he's like nice and polite and stuff. And it's like, what? What the fuck's going on? I think it works well for the characters, for his sister, who's now bonding with the group because she was like in a no way this shit is real. And then, I think she gets attacked by demo dogs. And, that's what Steve comes to the rescue, I think. Steve, the Hare Harrington, is a fucking man. But you got this whole season 3 culminating again. You got the relationships. Elle's got to grow. She's got to become who she's becoming. So does Mike, and so does Will. And I'm sorry for these fucking asshats on the internet. Don't tell me season 5. All right, it might have been a little too long, misplaced, whatever. Even if I want to agree with Will's coming out episode, don't tell me this hasn't been there from the beginning and hasn't been super important. Now, would I have made it more important and stated flat out during the last season or whatever, that episode? Look, I have to do this or I'm not going to be helpful in this battle. We know what I can do now. I'll get to that, whatever. But I got to tell everybody. And then, all right, then we can argue if it was done well. But it's evident in the 3rd season, too, the relationships, the growth. But now we've got this meat monster becoming this huge, big spider thing that's destroying the mall, and they've got to, and yeah, okay, so I think they defeat it with fireworks, but for me, things work in this season. There's this little kind of moment where it would a teeny tiny bit redeem Billy before he dies, because he was a human, he's a kid, he's a product of his genetics and environment, like every fucking human being on this planet and in the show. He wasn't like an alien, and he got fucking possessed by a thing that just took him over, and they sort of try to redeem that inner kid and like what he meant to his little sister, even if it's a stepsister. And they have to beat the big bad. and this is, again, I understand where people in the last season are like, no one fucking dies, no one does, this doesn't happen. And it's not, like I said, because people on Star Trek want everybody to die, or fucking, I watched Beretta back in the day, right? You watch Beretta, policewoman, doing like police, like, every week I didn't go, why isn't he dead? He's a fucking cop in Hollywood, whatever the fuck he was, California, New York, policewoman, whatever. Like, why you don't do these things? But I guess what? If he got shot 7 times in every fucking episode and survived, like, you'd start thinking, is this show about like a superhuman? Like, I know it's a big difference in the way I'm thinking, but it just shows what you can do wrong, but do right. Yeah, you want to have suspense and put people in these situations where they could be in danger. But this fucking episode has Hopper, who's at this point been almost a perfect evolution of what he was becoming from when you first met him. He decides that he can't get out, that Joyce has got to push the buttons and destroy the gate, and he dies. It's a serious moment in the show. Joyce is like just getting over a fucking newbie getting mauled by Demogorgons, and you can tell the relationship she had with Hopper and the growth of it and the depth of it. Winona Ryder's fucking excellent, fucking amazing. And obviously, spoilers, he's not fucking dead. And even in this season, they don't show he's alive, but they show like a Russian prison camp, and they mention an American, but they don't show him. But he's alive. Hopper's alive. Now, this is bullshit in that sense that you don't want to really impact much in the sense of him being alive. If you want to carry the death, the weight of it, the stress of it on everybody, and by the way, at the end of the 3rd season, 11 loses her powers. Billy's dead. They get the creature. The rift is closed. Steve is amazing, and Robin's my favorite. But now what do? You've killed Hopper, and the show just goes along with its bad habits. And the only reason why I like season 4 a little bit better than season 3 is because of the seriousness of Vecna and those death scenes, and how scary it must have been for the kids, and the way it was into the fucking mythos of the show. I really enjoyed that. But you have a fucking season where Hopper is alive in Russia. Now, okay, so he gave Joyce the look, Joyce, I gotta do it. She hits the button, the thing explodes, but he runs and jumps into a ditch, and he's taken by the Soviets from this fucking mall underground to Russia. I mean, it's stupid. Even if you do get from before, your government, our government, and our team in Indiana, whatever the fuck, find him, you take him to a local place. And fucking whatever. So Joyce gets this letter. She's got to meet up with Murray, maybe a new guy. I don't know if he mentioned in season 3. He might have been shown because, like, not as a cameo, but he's like an investigator. So I think they went for him. And this is Nancy's, investigative technique and her inspiration. But, like, they got to go to Russia. Now, again, you've got all these characters: Will, Mike, Lucas, Dustin, Steve, Jonathan, Nancy, Max. You've got new characters that have been introduced I might have missed, like Lucas's fucking younger sister. And by the way, her in the latest seasons, are you out of your fucking mind? Put her in a normal fucking outfit. You can't do that. You just can't have these fucking characters looking like fucking idiots. Sorry, some characters look older and are different. You can still do it better for the time piece. That people, you can't just have it's just a fucking annoying in that sense. So you got everything I mentioned, and you're cutting people, you're pairing up people, you're having these storylines go on. You're introducing Eddie Munson. Like, he could be me. Dungeon Master, blah, blah, blah. I thought pop for a while to friends. I didn't go in corners and stuff, but I always had weed, and people were like, oh, why don't you sell? So I did. All right, so you do your weed thing, and the Dungeon Master who they love. Now, in hindsight, this is where I would have brought Callie back. This is the season you bring Callie back for something, even if you're going to bring her in season 5 or whatever, and you have her be like the guiding thing for like Eddie and where he's going. And this season is this mystery mind flayer, Vecna. He's got to get 4 murders, and the 4th victim opens up the gates between Hawkins and the Upside Down, which we kind of know is not the Upside Down really, in the sense of what we thought it was, because in season 5 they really get to what is actually going on. And it's, again, once bad habits are formed, and this is their formula and what they're doing, they're not adding and isolating enough relationships and storylines in a quality way. They're just not. It's evident in this season. I wanted to fast forward so many fucking times. These bully guys at the school and after Eddie, and I get why that might be necessary, but again, you're adding it on to so many things. I gotta watch fucking Joyce and Murray in a plane, get on a plane, whatever. You know what? Don't crash the fucking plane. Stop it. Did you really need to do that? They survived the plane crash in fucking Russia. And everything works out in the end. I don't know. I do understand some of the frustration and maybe not all the outrage, but come on, this season is, in my opinion, season 3, 4, and 5 are way lower quality than season 1 and 2, in my opinion. Even though season 2 seemed like they took risks and might not have succeeded so much, it just feels better for me. Now, I'm not doing a deep analyzation, but this season is season 4. We got the pairings up. What's going on? This is going on here. Hopper's dead. No, he's not, but no one knows it because Joyce says she's going on a fucking conference to Alaska. And then you're breaking people up. You're pairing this up. But, oh, no, wait. What about Elle? Well, Paul Reiser comes back and he's like, hey, we can give you your powers back. And he brings her to the station and because she needs her powers to be a superhero again because that's the mic. And, things are suffering here. And the quality relationships, the heart of the show, is trying to be shifted around in a smart way, but it's not. It doesn't work in the greatness sense. But so we've got fucking Elle's story in the lab again with Paul Reiser and Matthew Modine, Papa. And I fucking hate that they keep saying it so much, but we've got to unravel Elle's fucking history of what really happened over these fucking episodes, and it's fucking tedious stuff. Like I said when I started this, Stranger Things is really like 3 fucking seasons, but they just kept adding things and blowing things up and spreading it out. And again, like I said, I appreciate the hour-plus episodes here and there. Like, you understand what you need to do, but I'm sorry, it's not greatness in the sense of how it was handled. It's just not. Maybe it was the restrictions of having 22 episodes and having to do it over a course of time, and you had to schedule things in, and you had to make one shitty episode that recap shit. and it just involves someone talking about all the shit they've been through. I get it. This is like big movie, and I get it. I try to be understanding, and again, I enjoy the whole series. But season 1 and 2 are my favorites, and the quality is way above the others. I can't tell you how fucking annoyed and frustrated I was trying to get through this season. And it's got some of the greatest shit in it. Max's journey with Lucas, you discover she's one of the fucking victims, and the other 3 victims are brutally murdered. Eddie's on the run. They think it's him. But you got this dumb fucking bunch of idiots, jocks, and the church thing, and the D&D, and the Satan thing. It was bullshit. Yeah, I get it. I was there. I remember having long hair and wearing Kiss shirts and being picked on, or try to be picked on. You know, I'm quiet and stuff, but I don't tolerate too much, you know, in that sense. But shit happens. You get picked on. I got jumped in the park one day, but it wasn't because I was a rocker or anything. But anyway, things happen, right? And I get it, but you didn't do it good. So if this part isn't good, but that part's decent, and you've got this thing going, well, get to the fucking point with this fucking L shit. Make it matter. Bring her back. Have her reconnect in a faster, more genuine way where we can kind of rebond. And you know what? Shows like this, like Buffy or whatever you want to bring up, your favorite shows, they have a way in like 3 sentences of smoothing things out. Like I'll get to season 5, but that's with Callie and stuff. But this season, you're gonna find out that Vecna is Henry. He's the first super child. Why is he a super child? Because from this Philadelphia whatever experiment and the piece of exotic matter that they opened the fucking hole to, the scientist or whatever the fuck in the cave with the suitcase shoots this fucking Henry in the hand. Again, you know what my brain says? Fuck you. I get angry and frustrated. Don't show me this fucking kid. He can't be more than 2.5 feet tall in his what? Boy Scout uniform, holding up his hands that he's not going to hurt this guy. And the guy shoots him in his hand, and there's a hole in his hand. Then the kid picks up a rock before the guy can reload and beats him to death. Just fuck off. You can do it better. More, I don't give a shit. You shot him in the hand, so get this. After he beats the guy to death and he's got blood all over his face, oh my God, what great scene. The kid opens the suitcase, finds this glowing mass of red. It's either exotic matter or a fucking mind flayer piece or whatever. And he picks up with his hand with the hole in it. And it infuses into his body and he becomes super powerful, goes back, and then because of some confusion of nonsense in season 5 and season 4, you don't really know what age he was when this happened or that happened, but they did get fucking Freddy Krueger, you know, on the show to play the father. And he kills his family. The father gets blamed. Papa, Matthew Modine, takes him to the facility trying to figure out the matter stuff because like his father knew about the guy who was a survivor. I don't know. And there's a play out there. Fuck the play. Go fuck yourself too. So Henry is taking Matthew Modine and it's him trying to figure out this exotic matter and how it's connected to Henry and what it's doing, that he takes the blood and he infuses it, and he's got like 13, 15 children, and it's gone through the struggles they go through. You see a lot of the flashbacks, and I think it was cute to have the 3D really tiny 11. It looked fucking ridiculous at times, but it served the fucking purpose of what they were doing. But you have to come on, get along with it. You can't have this going on spread out throughout the whole fucking season with this is going on. We got Nancy and Jonathan and fucking Steve and Dustin and Lucas and Max. And Max has got to be his focal point because she's one of the victims. Can we use her? These other people are brutally, horrifyingly, amazingly killed by Vecna. And you've already started a trend, but you've continued a bad habit, which starts to become glaring with no, you're dead. Like, just stop. And all this has to come together, and it doesn't work well, in my opinion. But there's so much greatness in those 11 scenes. Max and that actress and the portrayal, there's so much goodness in there. And fucking Lucas, kudos again to all these fucking actors. What they give, and they try their best. Now, yes, season 5 does give me vibes like, what the fuck are we doing back here? We're fucking older men dressed as fucking kids, and it's fucking ridiculous. But you can also, in the other hand, see the people who came and fucking went, you know, I was going to say balls deep. I don't know. They go all out and they give it everything they've got. And I'll give that to fucking Nancy. Never in any scene she's in anything she's given, does she seem like she's checking out. No. Which is why she's like one of the best on the show for who she is and as an actress, as in whatever. Which is why I think Robin's my favorite. There's nothing they give her that doesn't come out charming and resonates with me. Even from season 3. And Max, season 2. They pull through and they give epic performances. But it's little chunks here, little chunk there, little chunk there. And then, again, you're going, all right, well, you know, unless we give an excuse or make up one, why isn't this person dead? Or why isn't this person mangled? You know, they come up with the thing, right? Oh, we got to kill the person that we bring in that we get you to love. I don't give a fuck. Do it right. Again, I bring up fucking Buffy, but what that, like a famous actor guy, but he does like weird claymation shit now. But he played like the Wolfman on the show. And he's like a young kid. He becomes a wolf because his nephew was a wolf and bit him. Like he comes and goes, like he disappears. Like you don't go berserk. They use him. They isolated. They gave him enough to fit in, to become liked, to become, you know, loved. And when you've got like fucking Xander, I think he died recently, that actor. You know, he's come to enough brushes in life where you go, man, this guy survived a lot. But there's always, even if it's silly, there are reasons and excuses. And then by the end, he gets his fucking eye pulled out. He's got to wear a fucking eye patch in the last fucking season or two. And this person was killed and this happened. You felt it. And you find ways of doing it. I'll get to season 5 mostly to like isolate a moment or two, but so we've got season 4, which again is only better than season 3 for me because of how hardcore they go with Vecna and the kills and the horror of it. But you know what? Critically, I'll say season 3 is better, which is kind of weird now because if you think about it, then if I had to give a critic score, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, however, I can totally see someone going, no, 4 is my best favorite season. Because you love so much and so much is endearing that, you know, it glosses over. It lets you just forget everything. And then sometimes the human brains work in insane, incredibly baffling, extraordinary ways. And I think that's what happens with these things. We got such a huge population of people. People are gonna love this one, and then you're gonna get fucking asshats who just fucking not only like to shit on everything, but like to blow things up and be fucking morons. So we've got season 4 that has to fucking give Elle her powers, reveal what really happened, and that in her quest to get her powers back, she let Henry go. She took the device out. He's the one who murdered everybody, created the massacre. And then when she fucking blasted him and disintegrated him and sent him to this other dimension, he went to the abyss, Dimension X, bonded with the Mind Flayer, became Vecna, this fucking horror being, which is, they changed his look in the 5th season. Because yes, they do bring him back. And I'm okay with connecting Will in the 1st season into Vecna and all that stuff. It could have been great, but it's not. You've compiled and You've done so many things, and your bad habits are just flooding into the show. And some of the things I heard, little clips here and there, was when I was trying to look into the fifth season, it's just nonsense. Come on. How many years did you have for this? And don't give me fourth season, COVID, strikes, fifth season, how it impacted everything. Fuck off, because it just makes it better. Don't tell me you don't have more time. I don't care if you're doing by the book, you're not writing stuff with people. You've got this storyboarding in your head and you piece it together. So when you come together, don't fucking give me sound bites from some fucking documentary that say we're working on the last season or the last episode and we don't have a script written. See, you can go fuck yourself. And I'll get into that a little bit because I want to just sum up everything and get to the fourth season, to the fifth. So what do? We've got to fucking get Hopper out of Russia. We've got to finish his thing, but it's fucking drawn out and intricate, right? You got him as a prisoner. He's getting friendships. He's growing. He's worried about Joyce, but Joyce is there with Murray. He doesn't know. Now he does know. Is she in danger? He made a deal. The guy double-crossed him, but now Murray and Joyce got this fucking Yuri guy, and is he good? No, he's bad, but he's going to help. But he's not going to help. We're going to force him to help. We've got all that going on. And we've got Max and her troubles. And how can we going to connect everything? How can we use it to find out what's going on? We got 4 fucking portals that have to open. When the 4th one opens, the 4th victim is claimed, we're fucking donezy. So we've got 11. We've got 11 stuff. And again, we've got little relationships and little growths. We've got little quests and things that need to happen. And it's a lot. They took a lot on their plate. Again, kudos to them. I get a shit on them. No, they didn't destroy the fucking series. Season 5 is not a disaster. I just don't believe the bullshit. But Max has to come to the realization, well, not realization, but they come to the thing like, look, you know what? You're going to have to use me. And since I fought him off once before with music, and the fucking music, right? Oh my God. Oh, you can overuse things and it becomes too much. And they double down on it and they triple down on it in the 5th fucking season. But we've got Elle gets her powers back because she comes to understand everything that really happened and what Papa really fucking meant. But I fucking hate that. And, Matthew Modine's character, the doctor, and they try to do the can we redeem Matthew Modine? Can we make him resonate with people? Like, what was he trying to do? What was his real motives? I like him and like what he did, but like they push it at the end where he says, all right, so apparently there's 2 factions of the government. One wants to stop his experiments, or wants L11. I think this is what season 5 and fucking Linda Hamilton's part is, but their base gets raided by part of the government, which is another part of the story because there's a government run by this one general guy. He's looking for L. He's not going to take nothing. He's going to kill people. He's going to do what he's got to do. And he's got to find the base. And then he goes after, but Matthew Modine's people are different with Paul Reiser. And they save Elle and he carries her out, gets shot like fucking 3 times, is on his deathbed. Now Elle's powers are back, but she's got a collar on. And then the kids come to help her. Some of the kids, remember, they're splitting everything up. You got Mike, whatever. And they come to help. There's a helicopter and there's fucking this, there's that. She's, confused, whatever. But Matthew Modine in his death throes hits the button, releases the collar. She fucking kills the helicopter. And then he says something like, I want you to understand I did it for you. Tell me you understand it. She doesn't fucking say nothing. She says, and he begs her. Before he dies, like, tell me you understand. She's like, no, fuck off. She didn't say nothing. She says, goodbye, Papa. Great. But don't tell me everything up to there was fucking quality. It wasn't filler. It wasn't nonsense brought up by this clown circus of people you got in these offices. I'm sorry. I watched some of that bullshit. Mind-boggling. But, you know, Vecna, this brutal fucking killer, horror demon partner to the Mind Flayer, is now in the end game. They use the fucking word, it even annoys me. But Elle's got to come back. She understands what's going on. There's people in danger, her friends. They're after Max. They're going to get her, but they're going to prevent it. They're going to help her, and they got to do everything they can. And now you got to get everybody back together. But we still got fucking Hopper and Joyce, right? Because they don't come back until the end. They don't do nothing with the end of Vecna's story. So what the show fucking ballsy does, in my opinion, it goes brutal, takes Max, counters their plan, which was pretty good in a sense if it wasn't drawn out. And Max gets taken. They break her arms or legs. They bleed her eyes. And she dies in like Lucas's arms. It's fucking brutal. It's awesome. Then Elle shows up. You know, she does the void astral projection thing. And she brings Max back to life, which I'm not against. I don't, it doesn't bother me. Didn't hate it at all. Enjoyed it. Max was great. And she's in a coma. So she's in a coma. And the show literally, because she died, says, well, fuck you. He succeeded. Now, mind you, everything I said is also intercut with one of the most important plots, which is we got to find Vecna's body. And you got the crew, Nancy, like Steve, we've got to go after him. And this is coincides with what's going on with Vecna and Max. Again, can you imagine, like, even if you've never seen the show, can you at least understand why people are fucking somewhat batshit crazy about the show? On seeing the quality, where it goes down. This isn't done super well. This isn't done great. Again, there are moments, fucking Nancy picking up weapons and guns by the 4th season is fucking epic. I love it. Just stop with the fucking boyfriend-girlfriend thing. Enough. I love her in almost every scene leading up to things. But they've got to go. So, again, everything I said 4th season, but you have now a crew who's going after Vector, figuring out the puzzle. They find him above the thing, and they attack him physically. So they flamethrower him, shotgun him, blow him out a window. L is in the astral plane, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But no matter all that, Max still dies. But again, she comes back. So the show says, you know what? You fucked. And they show at the end, the earth cracks open, big fucking cross on the ground, sort of red exotic matter, upside down, whatever shit, and huge pillars of clouds and the smoke. Mind you, there are things that happen, like when Nancy gets caught by Vecna, he shows her a vision. Like, I'm not going through every fucking minute of the show, but all these things are supposed to resonate, supposed to hit you, and when you look at the last couple of scenes of the show, you're like, holy shit. This is fucking nuts. What are they going to do? Again, you take chances, you succeed at certain things, and it's done well. It's going to be, lots of things are to be forgiven, especially for me, who still enjoys the show, but God, this fucking 4th season, splitting everything and telling things, and now that I'll get to the 5th season, I'll go a little bit more into the nonsense, I think, which happens. So, Hopper's alive. He comes back. Oh my gosh, he sees what, you know, it's not done well, in my opinion. Yeah, we can tear up and we can get whatever, but anyway, the 5th season should have started in an apocalypse. I'm sorry. Don't start season 5 where the kids look like they're in their 30s. I mean, I'm not, they're young, but you get what I'm saying. They look fucking so different when you come back to season 5. And if I'm correct, because I didn't know, again, I was going through a lot of shit when these shows were on, and season 4 was broken up. And when I went to watch it, because I thought I caught up at one point, I was like, I don't get it. What's going on? I must have just watched a portion of it and knew it was being delayed, and I stopped and said I'll get back to it. But what the fuck are they doing with the 5th season? Again, I wasn't a part of it. When I decided to watch the final thing, I just watched it all at once. But I do know that they put out like the first 4 episodes, waited a month or so, put out 3 episodes, and then had the last episode delayed also in movie theater, which I'm all for. Fuck it. Have the whole thing in the theater. Have a whole week. It shows, it deserved it. It just blew up. It captured fucking the world. In that sense, these kids became huge megastars. Again, kudos for you getting to this fucking season and doing your best to fucking make the show at least good in that sense. But when we get to the 5th season, we've got some unanswered questions. Like, people from season 4 are like, hey, did we kill Vecna? I don't think he's dead. We got to prepare for him to come back. And that means Hopper, again, I'm not getting into all the things, but Hopper's fucking journey, his characterization, really annoyed me at certain points. And it happens here at the end, but if it was explained better, it would have worked. But Hopper's training Elle. They've got to train. Joyce is there. The military has the fucking town under guard. They put metal plates over the rifts, the holes in the ground, the gates to fucking hell, whatever. And they guess, okay, Vecna was defeated, so it took him time to gather himself and come back. But now he needs 12 children. So Vecna is going to kidnap 12 kids because they have power and or they're weak, meaning he can lie to the kids. Like, I gotta assume the kids have power. Stop it. You just then nothing really mattered where what kid was what and who was when. Season 4, the 4 victims were targeted because they had trauma and they weren't dealing with it. He was able to get in and whatever. But now Vecna's like, yeah, I just gotta kidnap 12 kids, right? No big deal. Once I do that, I'll link them all up to me with the Mind Flayer, I guess. And this season's goal for the villain is revealed. He wants to merge the Abyss with our world, Earth, or whatever. Yeah. Oh, yeah, And fuck why. Like, and the reason why it's almost pathetic in some of its execution, because when you decide that he wants to merge the worlds, and you have a fucking scene in this show where they go to the Abyss, and there's not one Demogorgon, not one bat, dog, nothing except the big spider, flare, crustacean, whatever the fuck it is, and vectors inside it. You're just asking for it. Just like you were asking for it when Mike's younger sister, Holly, who's been in this show, God, you can look and find her, is kidnapped by a Demogorgon. She runs, she tries to escape, she gets the mom in the bathroom. Now, this mom has been in the fucking season with the dad. Thumbs up, Ted. But Karen, I think, grabs the kid. You don't see it happen, but the Demogorgon busts through the bathroom, and he can't find them. and they're under the water. Thought that was pretty cool. Oh, and then Ted comes in and gets fucking swiped through 2 walls he flies through. He lands and he's got the gashes on his chest. He's obviously dead. And the kid's about to be caught. And the mom, carrying in her nightgown, grabs a wine bottle, breaks it. Now, when the Demogorgon comes in, it kind of hesitates here and there. She gives it some stabs and she's fighting with the fucking thing. But the fucking Demogorgon eventually cuts her in the stomach and then swipes with his right hand, slow motion, cutting her throat, and the blood splashes on the little kid. Pretty fucking awesome scene. Now, if you start to think, okay, well, this Demogorgon, like some of the bad habits they've had, really didn't act the same. Okay, you know what? It had its goal in sight. It's deciding, you know what? Is this woman even worth mangling and killing in less than half a second? I got to get the kid. That's my goal. That's my focus. So he's like just really going to push her aside and grab the kid. But okay, you know what? You can, let it go. These things happen. Also, when Robin and her girlfriend are in the fucking hospital and the Demogorgon, Demodog, passes them by to kill the army guys, well, okay, I mean, they savagely kill these guards and give a chance to kids to get away, but it's serviceable. I'd rather have my attack dogs attack the people with weapons and guns rather than the 2 kids. Although, if you're going to say, oh, it knew the 2 kids knew who Max was, blah, 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 blah. But remember, its focus is Max in the hospital. But it adds up when you start going back, and these are people who were, like me to an extent, frustrated and disappointed with the downgrade in quality and writing. And I'm sorry, writing, once you got the writing not stable enough to be great, your show is gonna start showing these cracks, and then some people will grab these cracks and break them open and reveal how stupid things can be. And I got to admit, some of them are right. Oh, Ted, the father, who got swatted through 2 walls or whatever, slamming against the wall, fell on the ground with his chest ripped open, he's alive. More surprisingly, the mom is alive. You see, this is the difference, and this is where bad habits build up, and you get to this point where you're not going to be forgiven for this. You're not. And you can't do it again later with Joyce, with a fucking axe. These things take weapons fire, gunfire, blowed up, smashed, bashed, and it's getting wounded by a wine bottle. And they even write this in later where Elle's trying to track this fucking thing, and it's bleeding, and she says, oh, the mom must have hurt it with her wine. So this thing who's been shown to be, I mean, there's a scene in here where assholes in a circle, military assholes in a circle, are shooting at this fucking thing. Why they're not, half of them are dying from friendly fire, who the fuck knows? But, the bad habits are shown. It takes insane damage, pressure, whatever you can fucking call it. But the mom heard it and survived. Now, this is not that hard for me. I'm sorry. It's not that difficult. How do you fix that? You really can't in the general sense, but here's what you do. You tell her and the kid to get next to the refrigerator. She opens the refrigerator door and hides. She knows it's going to find them. But she waits for it to do its thing. She fucking pushes the refrigerator on it. As it slams on it, the bottle comes out and breaks. She grabs it, starts fucking stabbing it, tells the kid to go. It pushes the fucking refrigerator off, half slashing her, tossing her aside, and goes after the kid. Solved. Problem solved. It's not going to be epic. It's not going to be... But you fucking can't have her bobbing and weaving with a fucking Demogorgon that we saw in less than like 3 seconds kill 5 fucking army guys, shred them to pieces, put their hands through them, rip them apart. Savage. And I'm going to give a little leeway with, oh, it's coming in, it's a little confused, it wants the girl, the mom's not going to do nothing. But no, they showed her mom hurting it with the wine bottle. She gets stabbed in the gut, so her throat is sliced, she's on the floor, the blood splashes on the kid. Fuck off. You know people are going to be pissed. Stop it. This is stupid. You don't do that now. You might have gotten away with this if you didn't compile this whole slew of cracks, these moments where things are so diluted, they're so drawn out and blown out. And this is what part of this is, because here's how I see it. You got the Duffer Brothers, they make magic season 1. Sort of season 2 is the Bad Habits form, but I think it's great. But they have to come into a solution to the problem. So what they do is they go, here's what we wrote, here's our outline. We got to get 3 or 4 writers in here, and we've got to puff this out. This is what I want. I want these people to get their moments, and we're going to have this thing and this, that. And then they sit around and just fucking keep inflating these scripts. Oh, but, you know, if you don't stand up to Netflix or whatever, I don't know how that works, but I would have done it differently. I would have said, no, we need this much time to do this, and we're setting it in this year. I got to eat my shit. It was great, but you know what? After season 2, let's make it a real time jump. I'm sorry. If eventually you get out of the 80s, fuck it. You know, I'd rather see Elle and some of these adults in real people clothes than looking like they're like in these fucking costumes that they don't fit in. But you've got these writing rooms and reading rooms in there just padding these fucking episodes. And then, you know, because if one of your main points is, okay, Elle's got to get her powers back. You know, how are we getting from here to there? Someone in them, their helpers, their writers, came in and said, okay, here's the beginning. Elle goes to the camp or the laboratory with Riser. Middle, she's fighting to get her powers back, struggling with Matthew Modine being alive. And at the end, bam, she gets her abilities back. She's able to come back and help. It wasn't a success for me. I love Elle, love her portrayal. I love what they've done. And even the CGI little kid, it all works for me. But as I'm watching the show and I'm watching other things and things are leading to other things and these other things are leading to other things and we've got to get it. No, I'm fucking sorry. You got the Vecna crew. They got to get him physically. We've got to help Max. And we've got the Max crew. Robin is amazing. I love her in every fucking episode, in every scene, especially in season 5, where she's like, Dick. I mean, come on. I love it. And yes, I did watch the fucking documentary scene where they're in the reading room. They're at the reading table and they all laughing their ass off. And I love how they did it in the show. I loved it. I thought it was great. She's like, Dick? Oh, did I say that out loud? And she has like another great line. I think I don't know, what season 4. And she's like, oh, she's in the car and people telling her to shut up. Oh, because she took Will, or season 5, but she took Will on a mission and she lied to Joyce about the flux capacitor in the radio tower. Yes, because Rockin' Robin is the DJ this year. I thought it was fucking fun and a smarter way to give exposition than the cave. This fucking cave in season 5, for fuck's sake. Oh, I love Max and like the whole shit. And by the way, the actress who's playing Holly, amazing. Give her an award. But the writer should be slapped. You should be kicked in the nuts and nipples, whatever the fuck. You really should be fucking drawn over the coals. You fucking just blew up this shit, delayed it, and just fucking let all the fucking bad habits, all your crack show, and you opened them wider, in my opinion, which is why this season cannot be my favorite. Holy shit. So you've got people go, no, you can't kill anybody, you know, you're not going to kill it, and you're delaying the show, you're giving people time to whatever, and then you're bringing Callie back. Oh, because Sarah Connor, Linda Hamilton, is great in the show, but they don't give her enough to make her an awesome villain type character. I like what they did. I love her in the role. I mean, her attitude, like, it works for me. But she's got to have a shitty lieutenant, our guy, and it's just got to happen. And she's got to have a new thing, a sonic weapon that stuns people or super people, and can't use their powers. And her and fucking Ellen Hop have to go through this bullshit again. And I get it. Oh, I love you. I wouldn't want anything to happen to you. To her finding out that Hopper has a fucking suicide vest on, and she's all fucking flipping out. And instead of the writers doing the right thing and going, no. When Hopper says to her, no, you saved me. This is not I want my sadness and depression to end. I want to join my family or whatever. The reason why I'm thinking of doing this is a failsafe because I will not let you get hurt, and I want you and your friends and my extended family, the people I love, to be safe. So I'm willing to give up my life. Because guess fucking what? You shit on everything again when you made Callie give fucking Elle that fucking goal. I mean, I think you think you're smart and and you're writers and you got it done, but as the fucking documentary shows, how do you fucking delay this and get caught behind? I don't care if you have fucking kids and you can't work 7 days a week no more. You hire the best, you're fucking Stranger Things. You caught the world by storm. You turned a fucking season 1 group of people into instant stars. Winona Ryder, back on top, as zany as somehow out fucking things are. I love her to death. David Harbour, what the fuck was he doing? How old was he when he got his first acting job? And yeah, you might be able to go back and say, oh, I remember him. Oh, look at him. He's in that thing. Oh, I remember he was a TV show. No. This fucking show blew everybody up. Everybody. Will, Lucas, Dustin, Mike, Elle, Millie Bobby Brown. And they deserve it. Because they're fucking awesome. Everyone gives their most. But Mike is the one in season 5. You shortchanged him. And although you gave him a moment or two here and there, again, it's not enough. It's too little butter spread over too much bread. But season 5 is Vecna's back. He's got to get 12 children. We're going to merge the worlds, the Abyss and Hawkins. And for fucking what? Like, it's not like when he says that happens, people's eyes roll up and half the population becomes extensions for the Mind Flayer. Because if it wasn't an invasion war, which I thought they should have started this fucking season in an apocalypse. Everything is red, misty, and everybody's living on fucking canned food, and this world is shit. Now you might pull out and zoom out and find out it's only Hawkins, whatever, and the military's trying to isolate the shit. But after you got me season 4 ending, world cracking open, black clouds from the sky to, oh, the problem in the town is kids are ice sledding down these fucking metal plates in the ground. It's just fucking stupid. But we got to get one of the great characters, Max, involved. So when Holly's she's taken to Henry's mindscape. Henry's mindscape is where he's taking the children to confuse them, mislead them. But what he's really got is them in the abyss, not the upside down, which is now the wormhole tunnel, that he's draining them like the Matrix, where they're stuck into the, yeah, okay, pay homage. I'm okay with this shit. They're all going to be stuck in these gooby things with big vine tentacles in their mouth. Yeah, okay. But Holly's taking first, because remember, it's her, the mom that did the wine glass, the little sister of so-and-so, Mike, and Nancy, and I love Nancy in this fucking thing. Fuck off. My sister was taken, my mom and dad were almost killed, and we know they should have been dead. But you didn't write it, right? You didn't plan it. You didn't do the, because you can forgive Ted. Yeah, he survived somehow, fine. But without knocking the fridge over, doing something to make this thing a little plausible, that mom scene is fucking ridiculous. And they fucking do another scene with the mom that blows my mind. But I get it. You're giving these people moments. She's awesome, that actress. And you can tell she's a fucking kid. And the behind the scenes, she's like, this is what, you make believe. I get it. And I love her for it. What the writing is fucking crazy. So we've got this all this shit's going on. L and Pops, right? It takes Pops Hopper, you can't do this. You wanted to die. You want to die. Well, it's like bullshit. And it's not clear enough, given enough good writing to make it connect. But they figure out that there's someone in this guy's mind in this secret base because, yes, Linda Hamilton and this faction of government that wants Elle dead or captured set up a base in the Upside Down. I thought the Upside Down was like toxic and deadly, and it's not. It's like it could be a hangout, which is fucking weird to me. But okay, you got your installation there. They got trucks and helicopters and shit in here. I mean, okay. And you see they have these big, huge Wile E. Coyote shit tunnels that are huge, and you can drive trucks in them. Of course, they have to, right? But to cut through some of the bullshit, Elle and fucking Hopper are in the fucking Upside Down, right side up, left side, middle, the abyss, whatever the fuck they're doing. They go into this guy's mind because they captured him. There's something behind the door. They got Vector behind there. And there's some logic thrown around like, hey, you know what? If they've got these devices that stop you from using your powers, and you know that's what's behind this door, how can Vector be doing what he's doing? Oh, shit, yeah. And kudos for people who would have guessed it was Callie. I don't think I thought about it enough. Again, I'm annoyed with this season 5 and how they're fucking padding things out and spreading out because fucking Max finds... Oh, so Holly's in his fucking dream world and it's Henry's old house, and yeah, we gotta find the clues that match that up too. Oh, and by the way, when you want to start doing plots and things and you got Derek, awesome kid, chubby kid, he steals the show for a lot of the scenes, and you realize like he's the next victim and you're gonna try to save the kids. Having a scene where these fucking kids who are grown adults now go into a house, drug the family, get the little sister who should not be dressed like she is, of Lucas, to poison everybody, to put them to sleep, except now she's got to jig Tina because Tina didn't eat the pie. They kidnap and put bags over their head and drag him into like a farm, a barn. Now, mind you, just like season 4, like all these other seasons, they're threading these plots and these storylines through, and they're not doing it well. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm going to find isolated things of each one and love them because their characters are great. These actors are great. These fucking portrayals, these performances are great. But the writing's not holding it up. Sorry. It's not happening. They decide they're going to get the kid. They got everybody drugged in the barn. They go in and they cut a fucking square hole in the upstairs room. Yeah, this is cartoon stuff. A big square, almost the size of the whole room. The whole ceiling falls down to the floor below. They staple a carpet to it to make it look like there's no hole there. Clean up the fucking bottom, which is just fucking... Look, hire right now, hire professionals, pay them 3 times the rate to do what these kids did with a chainsaw and whatever. I fucking dare you to even contemplate the time. And you know what? You want to make Murray be able to give you everything and become the smuggler shit? Like, you got to have it believable. It's not. But yes, let's assume they've got every fucking tool. I hire the best people. I pay them triple. As they are here, I time them and they've got everything in their hands. Show me how this fucking works. Show me. But it's cartoon kid stuff. You want to have fun. I get it. And you know what? I enjoyed it. No, the mind player, the Demogorgon comes, going to get Derek. Oh no, let's throw flammable water balloons. I think they're filled with kerosene, acetone, or whatever. And Lucas comes in, throws it. Oh no, it's covered in flammable shit. It falls through the carpet into barbed wire because Max was able to give him like 3,000 feet of barbed wire. Sure, why not? He can smuggle anything. into the fucking place. And especially when he suits up the fucking truck to have a padded room for kids to hide in. I mean, come on. All right, whatever. But this whole plot, this whole scheme, this whole plan, it's great in a sense. Demogorgon falls through, it's covered in barbed wire, it's fucking burning, and yes, Nancy was right that these tracking devices can be shot out of a cannon. She shoots a tracking device into the Demogorgon because they got to find out where it's going, and it leads to this and that. It's kind of ridiculous, right? Fun, though, in that sense. But again, because I got to do this fucking thing where, again, oh, by the way, who's the actor who plays Vecna? I want to give him some credit. Oh man, I don't want to miss this guy's name. I'm going to look for a second if people don't mind me fucking really getting a little crazy, because I know these things are long enough. I don't want to do fucking 6-hour ones, although I do watch those. They're pretty cool. I think it's this Jamie Campbell Bower. Kudos. Great Vecna. Even if he's in the makeup or not, like the portrayal, he's awesome. In his mindscape, again, he's got this house. He brings Holly there, and he's going to bring all the kids there. And it's part of the story that they have to tell. And again, you got this bond, right? So not only did the thing with Karen, Mike's mom, or Nancy's mom in that sense, you've got now them in the bond, and Dexter, or whatever the fuck his name is, the chubby kid, wakes up. Now, forget about the logic of what the fucking Demogorgon or Mind Flayer could see throughout the mind, like in season 2, whatever it will. They kept him hidden and didn't know where he was, and the Demogorgons couldn't find him until he heard the sound of a phone and realized, oh, I must be near my house. The Demogorgon comes. When this kid wakes up and he sees his bond, okay, the Demogorgon knows where he is, so because they have the tracking device on him, they're like, oh shit, he's changed his direction. Because remember, this is Dustin and fucking Steve and Willer in this car. Dustin's being a real dick, and it's justified. He's got these fucking assholes from what he did in season 4 with the Hellfire Club, and season 5 he's missing Eddie because Eddie died. And I didn't really talk about that too much because there's a problem I had with that, and I wanted to touch on it with Callie here. If Callie would have been in season 4, would have been sort of opposed but acting as Eddie's guide, you could have had more to do with Callie. And by the way, Callie should have taught, and there should be a way for them to learn each other's powers, or at least 11. Because it would make more sense about the ending and how they tried to explain that. But Callie should have been in season 4 and should have been the catalyst for Eddie sacrificing himself and interacting with Dustin and that, because when they find out what's behind the door, because remember, there's 16,000 fucking things going on, Elle and fucking Hopper bust the door open. It's Callie who's prisoner by Linda Hamilton, and they got to break her out. Imagine she had a couple of Buffy moments in season 4, and then you expanded those moments into season 5, where when she comes back, she rolls her eyes at Steve but gives Dustin a little smile and is sad to hear about Eddie dying. Like, hey, Eddie sacrificed himself. And it was kind of not, like, Steve's almost right in this season about Eddie, but he's just fucking awesome. Sorry, you're not shitting on him. No fan base is going to fucking ruin people's love of Eddie and what he meant to Dustin and the team. He's a pot-dealing good guy dungeon master who gets blamed for murder and is running from everything according to his thing. After he runs some problems, and then he decides not to run no more. The arc works, and Dustin's devastated. But Callie should have been there, and you should have used her in the scene. You shouldn't have brought her back out of nowhere in season 5 because you felt like she needed to. Fine, I like her. I like season 2. I like the episode. I'm not gonna fucking bullshit and lie. I'm not gonna say I jump up and down and excited, but it's not like, oh God, I got to get through this. It's not for me. But not talking about Eddie Martin, talking about it now is because Kelly should have had something. Like, I think her only words here are, oh, so you're Mike? And then what they involve Callie in with Hopper, Elle, and like Mike at one point, I'm not happy with it. I'm sorry. I don't know what you wanted her to be in this season, what your goal was, but is Callie like the death goddess or something like that? And I'm just going to give it away in a sense. Callie believes that even if they kill Henry, Vecna, number one, yeah, too many names. You're right, Dexter. Is it Dexter? Dipshit. Dipshits. I don't know. I don't know why I'm thinking Daryl now. Derek. He's got so much potential in so many of these places, Vecna, but they give this Callie impression that she not on everybody's side, and even when it's revealed that Callie believes that even if you kill Henry, Vecna, they're always going to be after our blood, and they'll just keep making more. Because they reveal that when she broke out one time, Callie saw there were a bunch of babies, and that they were using her blood and taking her blood constantly to try to reenact these experiments that created super beings. And according to Linda Hamilton, so they could be killing their enemies in Russia. All right, I get it. It works in that sense. I'm fine with it. You know, I could watch silly movies and understand how fucking slanted certain things are. So Callie wants them to kill themselves when the wormhole's destroyed. Because of course they're going to have these huge drawn out scenes, which are pretty cool in a general sense. You know, where, look, I fucking love Nancy. I'm sorry. Even when she shot the fucking exotic matter, because Dustin comes up with this theory that was surprisingly wrong, that the meat wall, yes, in the Upside Down, they find is a wall of matter, vines and shit that surrounds the whole Upside Down, Hawkins' place. And he thinks that it's a shield, like the Return of the Jedi, that they were protecting the Death Star. There's got to be a force field being projected. He thinks that's what it is. We destroy that, blah, 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 blah. Well, what he finds out later, because of the notebook from the doctor, Matthew Modine, again, you got people, you can't fuck with certain people. If the Upside Down was created the moment fucking Elle opened the breach and made the wormhole connect to the abyss or whatever, and it's frozen in that time, I can sort of get the little Easter egg thing where the melting fucking place, and Nancy and like they show the army guys stuck in walls and melted and their outfits are older. I can understand inserting the Philadelphia Manhattan experiment, whatever the fucking project, into the storyline and saying, well, this is how it really started and got people wondering. Fine. But Dustin finds out and that the Upside Down is not its own world. It's not a duplicate of whatever. It is a duplicate of Hawkins, but projected into a tunnel that opens up into another world, another dimension called the Abyss or whatever the fuck, Dimension X. People can go fuck themselves anyway. All right. So that's the revelation and so the reveals. Vecna needs 12 children. He's going to merge Earth with the Abyss. For what reason? Who the fuck knows? Because it's not going to... Like, apparently he weakened them both so they could merge but not crush each other, but they're obviously crushing each other because they got the radio tower. There's a whole fucking thing where they're going to come up with the plan, and who came up with the plan? They got to draw on the fucking thing with magic marker. These moments should be epic, and they should tie back and call back to the first season, the second season, even the third. Like, this is how they work. This is how the magic happens. It doesn't work for me. You got to kidnap 12 children, put them in a mind fucking scape, and then when fucking Holly escapes, she finds, because Henry's like, don't go into the woods, whatever. She finds Max. So Max was killed, brought back by 11, damaged and broken. Her mind got stuck into Henry's memories. Okay, whatever. Pretty cool. Do something new. You got it. Go nuts. You don't have to fucking explain every single thing. You know, it'd be nice to kind of, you know, keep up with things to a certain extent, but it's almost mind-numbing. Cut these things down. Give a little more time. Give me Callie with the fucking group, and I mean the group. Will, Lucas, whatever. Give her, I call it the Buffy treatment. Give him 3 sentences. Dustin says something. He looks at Lucas. Lucas looks at her, says something. Mike rolls his eyes, and she either is angry. Like, you could do anything at that point, but there has to be moments that are well written that show you that the kids don't trust her. Like, whatever you're conveying. No, she comes out of nowhere like this fucking, truth sayer who knows what's right for everything. Kathy's like giving introspective looks at Hopper and talking about shit. It's just not done right. And then they've got this Max. This whole fucking thing is just explaining everything. And Holly, this great actress, so they're both great, and they got to get through this maze as kids now are in the house, and the kids get involved. You got 11 kids. What's he gonna do? He's gonna group them all together, merge the worlds. That's really it. And where these storylines coalesce. Love Nancy, and fucking MVP is Robin. I'm sorry, Dick. And yeah, you never seen The Great Escape. They named their tunnels Tom, Dick, and Harry. Tom went this way, whatever. But Dick led to the washroom or whatever. And she's like, I like Dick. I'd rather go with Dick. And then Joyce has got to say, let's say we go with Dick. And look, it's fucking stupid and stuff. And in the table read, yes, it was more funny. But I love that scene. I would have went bonkers for that scene if the rest of the writing was good. It's just the truth of it, I think, for me. If the rest of the writing's good, I really don't care. I smooth things over, things that you don't agree with. Everybody can't be happy with everything. It's not always made for you. And these guys have a vision. It's their baby. Let them fucking run with it. But it's too much. You've got too much fucking shit going on. And then you're retconning a retcon. And, you're connecting things and making things flow with season 1 and season 2. This takes time. It takes effort. It takes good writing. It doesn't work. You've shortchanged Lucas. He's an amazing actor. His contributions to the show, Mike's, Dustin, and Steve come through this, in my way, in my opinion, the best in that sense, because you find out that Dustin's in his funk and in his attitude because he's fucking said that Eddie died, and he even cuts off on Steve while they're in this middle situation. By the way, again, you got this situation where they're all cut off from each other. They got to come back together. These things are going on too long here. These people are in this place, and they got to have their reveals and their fucking revelations, and they do this whole fucking marriage scene, which is fucking ridiculous. Nancy and the brother actually break up, but it wasn't really known to everybody. They had to clarify it. And by the way, the scene is acted fucking amazing. Amazing Nancy, the older brother, awesome. The scene is amazing for what it is. Written, the way they talk, the way they express their feelings. I loved it all. But not the way it flows in and out of everything. It just doesn't work for me. It's not going to wow me. I'm not going to go down saying the greatness lasted from beginning to end. There's just sharp decline in the writing and whatever they're doing in the writing rooms where people are coming in, adding to their ideas and fleshing these things out, and they should have been stopped. You should have paid some fucking internet asshole what, $3,000 a week? You know you could fucking do it. And have him sharpen things up. Get the biggest asshole you can. Get the one who fucking really is silly and you think is stupid and that you think is wrong, and take his advice. Take their advice because, yes, don't get me wrong, you know, fan fiction doesn't rule the world. These people who think they could write things better or not. But you have to be aware and know your shortcomings and know your bad habits. They have to be exposed to you because you decided to come back. You accepted the deal of the Duffer Brothers with Netflix and how long the seasons are and what episodes are what and how we're going to break this up. If you didn't have control, you should have fought for it. If this is your vision and how you wanted to do it, you dropped the ball. Because season 5 becomes a fucking clusterfuck. But, again, how do you not say one of the best scenes in this whole show is Will getting his shit together and having one of the most epic scenes in all of Stranger Things? So, when we've got Joyce in the barn when they're kidnapping the kid and they're trying to save everybody, the kid wakes up, the Demogorgon comes, it busts in and Joyce has got an axe and she's trying to fend it off. It backhands her. No, again, just like the fucking retcon you have to do with the other mom in the kitchen, dropping the fridge on the guy and just going ape shit berserk because you want to save your kid. You need to do the same with Joyce. She needed to look around, hide everybody, and drop a pinball machine on his head. You know what was amazing? What people would bring home in the late 80s? Because the 70s had these, believe it or not, gaming places where you would go and lose all your quarters and put them into games. And we know Asteroids, Pac-Man. You know, people used to bring them home. And I remember my friend had a barn. And we used to hang out and they'd smoke weed in it and shit. And he had one of them in there. So you get a writer who goes, no, we can't do, Joyce can't stand up to this fucking thing and swing axes at it. Again, if my brain's going to say, oh, you know what? Oh, it's looking for the kid. These people don't mean nothing to it. No, we've seen this thing savagely attack people, whatever. And getting to the scene with Will is even more bonkers. So Joyce attacks it with the eye, right? No, Joyce should have been hiding and dropped the fucking gaming machine on its head. That's it. Then grabbed an axe, told everybody, like, do whatever the fucking show is doing anyway. You have to write them better. And I know this is silly, a fucking pinball machine in the barn, but it's what I remember. I remember fucking going up to Chris's Spoochheads, whatever. We went up to his house. And you go into the barn and you smoke weed and you hang out with your friends, you drink beer, and you know, you're a rebel and you're a fucking young teenager, whatever the fuck these kids are supposed to be. It would have worked. But okay, so they got to get the tunnel dug, and Dick is the best tunnel. So there's even another scene. Now, here's where you go too far and you make it too much. Where they're doing the fucking digging and stuff, and he's like, oh, let's hope it's not hard. They're talking about the dick, and he goes, oh no, whatever, they hide in, and I think Lucas says, oh, I'll make it soft. I mean, you know, a little bit too much here and there, but I get it. Robin nailed it. Joyce even delivered on part of the punchline, and it was, I loved it. But, you know, now you got to say the dick thing. All right, so they get the tunnel, they're breaching out, they got to run away, save these kids, save the fucking kids. But Vector's pissed off. He sends his fucking more than one Demogorgon, and he's going to arrive himself. Because the army people are all over everything. The Demogorgon's chasing the truck because they got some of the kids on the truck. Some of the kids never made it out of the tunnel. Joyce was captured. Mike is captured. Will is captured. You know, the kids, they got this fucking army place where the kids were being kept, and it's all fucking military everywhere. But they've got the truck zooming away with Max driving. He's got the kids in a padded room in the back, which is fucking ridiculous. And because he can smuggle anything in and out, he gets whatever. But things are going wrong, and Lucas is caught in the fucking bottom tunnels. He's cut. Right, again, my brain, if you don't compile all the fucking bullshit, my brain can easily go, okay, yeah, it just wounded fucking Lucas and got what he wanted. You didn't need to savagely attack him. I get it. But people are going to just fucking keep pulling these cracks apart. You did it to yourselves. The Duffer Brothers and this whole team did most of the damage this show is getting a rep for to themselves. Sorry, you did it to yourselves. Anyway, So they coming out, they got the kids, they got the army there. Vecna shows up, the Demogorgons are killing. And by the way, you see, I don't know why the fuck the army gets in a circle and fires at one creature in the center when you know everybody's getting hit with stray bullets. It's a circling circle. You don't do it. It looks stupid. I'd rather be shouting out things than them doing rolls and tucks and backing up and little diamond like do something smarter. But Demogorgons, and they are savage, killing everybody in seconds. Rip, shred, truck, bite your fucking head off. And even Vecna, I keep calling him Vecna. Vecna gets in and fucking, I don't know, call it the gruesome. If the Duffer Brothers want to call it the most gruesome death, fine. He sticks his vine tendrils for the back of his head out his mouth. It's gooey and makes all the squishy sounds. Yuck, blah, blah, blah. But they're fucked. Everybody's about to be killed. Mike's doing his best as a leader. Finally, taking the kids to safety. But it gets cut off by Demogorgons. Demogorgons are there. They're bursting out of their teleportation ability tunnels, which, you know, it's not so consistent. Like, you know, what the fuck was going on in season 4 with the Demogorgons they had locked up? But I don't know. Well, these are things people are going to hop on. You get enough of these things compiled, and people who are on the fence about the show, or who are even maybe kind of like me, so disappointed in the downfall of quality and writing, that these things get a little too much, and they start tarnishing your love of the show in general. You know, me, I still love the show. I'll say that. Season 1 or 2 are my favorites. I just don't think the other shows hold up, and they don't ruin anything for me. But this is the end game. Oh no, let's do that. So the shit's hitting the fan, and Will grabs the power that's been surging through him. He's been controlled by the fucking hive mind for so long. He begins Vecnering the Demogorgons, and it's epic. It's fucking awesome. He's killing them straight. He's stopping them from killing their friends, whatever. And then they do the slow motion. He wipes his sleeve across his bloody nose because his nose is bleeding. Holy shit. I could see at this point, people at that moment said, oh, season 4 is good so far. Like, you can forgive. Like, that's how much you love these characters, these actors. Kudos to this fucking character, this actor. Everything. You fucking came back. You were a child in fucking front of a camera. You have things in your mouth. You're scared. All these kids growing up. I don't care if you're fucking Hollywood or you're a child of another actor, actress, or maybe have a little bit of benefit that. Maybe that's why Rob is like my favorite, the best actress maybe in the whole show. But you know, Noah Schnapp. Epic. Becomes a fucking powerhouse hero. And yes, you could say it's limited in the sense because he has to be connected to them. He's like, can't walk around like Seven and break people. But it gives you hope and like redemption for his character. Holy shit. He wipes the blood from his nose. And it's like, you guys fucked with me. They kind of, you know, they go to black. And this is where I think people were like, there's a delay. They had to wait for the season to come back. In my opinion, you're kind of dropping the ball here. And again, if it's your bad habits that expose this, and like Netflix is not sure, they're giving you this much time. You've got delays. Yeah, strikes happen. COVID happens. Like things happen. You know, you get babies. Your life's different. These kids are actors who grow up, and what if some of them don't want to be actors? They're getting pressured. They got all this money to throw at them. They're going to come back, give it their all, but maybe it's not what they want to do anymore. How many people are in this fucking life that go through shit and forced by whatever, and then you find out later it wasn't really for them, and what is it, what they want? All these things were human fucking beings. But you come back and you got this whole fucking thing to unravel. You've got this fucking... Holy shit, you gotta take this fucking kid out of this fucking supernatural mindscape. And it's brutal. I love Max, and I love this acting of this fucking kid who plays Holly, like, but enough. Trim this down. If you can't trim it down to make it shorter, give Callie what she fucking deserved. Give Mike and fucking Elle that fucking moments they need. You have a moment in here where Dustin and Steve have a fight and they go at it. They really are cutthroat with each other. And, you know, Dustin's like, Eddie was my real friend. You're a piece of shit, you know. And Steve's like, you know, Eddie was a fucking idiot. He got himself killed. I told you guys not to be fucking heroes. You took chances. And Dustin, I'm not saying verbatim, whatever, but they tackle each other. They're fighting. They break their walkie-talkie, which is kind of stupid because you can hear what the fuck they said later, but whatever. And then there's a moment where this whole place is melting. Yes, Nancy and fucking the brother, older brother. I call him fucking the older brother, but he does have a name. I think it was Will or something like that. But he becomes a nothing background character where they try to use too much. He should have been the best Big Brother character he could be, not a fucking Scooby-Doo crew guy. Sorry, you can't do it. It's just not going to happen. It doesn't work for me. Any case, we've got to come back and get these episodes. They've got to prep. And, does Elle come back with Hopper is wounded and they saved Callie and Linda Hamilton's portrayal, the fucking base and this. And they got to come back and decide what's going on, and this is where they start figuring everything out, and we've got to do this, so how can we do this? So, well, if when the merge happens, we wait, the tower pokes through a peak in the thing, Elle goes in, bing, bam, boom, done. And there's a point where Joyce is like convincing Will to go in and kill Vecna with one quick strike since he won't expect it because of what his newfound power. And it kind of works, and it's another great scene in my opinion where he's struggling, he breaks fucking Vecna's leg, and he kind of saves Max and Holly and, or whatever the fuck it was at that time, Nancy, whatever group, whatever, and he spins his head around doing that thing with his hand. It's good, it's great, it works. But this is the Joyce. I think Joyce has done way better than Hopper. Yes, Joyce is a mother. She's frantic, crazy, a little too giving. She disappears for half the season in Russia, but then cracks down and tells a heartfelt thing about leaving her child for 8 hours when Will went missing and didn't know he was missing till the morning. Yeah, you know, but I think it's better for her character portrayal, who she is, how the character works, and where it fits into the story, rather than Hopper and Elle and Joyce and that kind of going back and forth. I would have rather seen a more, you know, solid thing with Hopper. But he's come back and Ellie, I'll kill fucking Callie if she tries anything because she's putting words in her mouth. And I think even Mike gets involved with what you said is pointless. I don't know what I said. Anyway, you have missed opportunities, padded out, in my opinion, nonsense. You really don't need all this. And if you do need the runtime, we should have rehashed stuff and made these things better. I don't give a fuck about Netflix and your time frame. This is your fault. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear every fucking sound clip from that fucking documentary thing. Oh, we don't have a script. And even with some of the people looking at the camera or looking at what's going on, like, yeah, we're going to have to do this by conversation. We have no script. Yeah, we're working. Like, how? How does it fucking happen? Stranger Things. Let's not debate and argue. It's one of the monumental shows of our time. Its impact, its audience, its reach. Again, this is Game of Thrones might have gotten there with better writing and whatever, although it's not a better show for me. It's, to me, it's still stuck in that medieval niche where everybody's dressed like, you know, whatever, and and they got the dragons. I think this is way more audience appealing, but it's diluted, drawn out, and we've got to get season 5 done with, so we've got the plan. We're going to poke the thing through there, but we're going to go get Dustin's teacher because we got to find him because he's been stuck in this fucking place forever. And him and Steve have that moment, and Dustin, he hooks a ladder up to this melting hole, and he's like, all right, I'm going to go look. And Dustin just had enough, and he's like, no. And it's one of the most heartfelt, best moments in the whole show. and for what it is, you know, that character growth impact moment, just like Will's moment where he gets his power, it's different greatness. But he says no, and he cries, and he's like, Steve, I can't lose you, not you. You're gonna die, whatever. And you see it. Steve's eyes, their closeness as actors. And by the way, I've seen some behind the scenes, and they all seem to love and respect each other. But this is where, like, you could have a scene where in real life they might hate each other. Like, I don't know. But they come through and they're pros in these moments. That moment is hands down one of the best moments in the whole show. Every season, any season. You have the foundation for a great relationship, great characterization, great writing. Even though we can get silly at times, if it matches Dustin, his character, his acting, it matches with Steve being a douchebag in the fucking beginning to becoming one of the most beloved, the babysitter. And his love and his caring for his friends and his realization where Dustin is at that moment. And they hug each other and it's the fucking best. But, you know, we got to move things along and get things going. We got our plan. We're going to have the fucking tower. And you don't do a fake out that with Steve, with the tower busting, cut to black. You know, I get it. Ha, ha, ha. Okay, you're not killing Steve here. But, again, I'm not that person who says, you kid, why you not killing anybody? And then fucking rant about it. And spend an hour out of my 4 fucking hour podcast vid on it. No, but it is understandable. Duffer Brothers, this creative team did it to themselves. It's season after season of not just, oh, they should have died, but the setups are not believable enough. Again, look at all the other shows, and I might think they're great, they're not great, how great Lost was in the beginning, but fell to shit, right? But never in my... Okay, as a dungeon master, game master, who not only had people get together and play D&D and watch things together concerning that, but we watched other stuff like X-Files was weekly, Buffy, Angel, all the, well, 3 of the Star Treks, let's say. Never did we, or at the time the internet blew up, because yes, I'm not old, never was there a, hey, why am I watching Star Trek and not everybody's dying every fucking week? And again, I know it's silly, but the reason why I bring it up is because one of my first loved TV shows back in the day was like the old school stuff. Starsky and Hutch, Bionic Man, Bionic Woman. Yeah, the Honeymooners were reruns, Odd Couple. But I'm talking about like what captures me is my Battlestar Galactica, the original, and when the movies came out and stuff. I'm not old, so you can get by with nostalgia with me. You could have made it work in a great way. It just doesn't hold up. It doesn't, and it's disappointing, and I can see where it just sets people off. I don't think season 5 was a disaster, but I'm not going to that guy who on his thumbnail says season 5 was a disaster and argue with him. And I think that's I hope that's a quality that I have in that sense. Yeah, maybe I'm just fucking lazy, don't want to argue with somebody, but no, because I can see it. Don't bullshit me here. You have one of the greatest scenes in all of fucking Stranger Things with Steve and Dustin coming to terms with Eddie's death and how much they love each other. And you have another somewhat great scene with Nancy and Will and the breakup. They're such good. Nancy's just fucking amazing as an actress who puts it in there. But yes, people are right. Drawn out, too long, shoehorned in. You know, you had to get these things out in the last season, but you didn't. It wasn't done right, in my opinion. Things needed to be trimmed down. Again, if you need the time, give it to the other people. Give them what they needed to make these characters the epic characters they are. Because these actors deserved it as fucking children. They got on the screen and wowed the world. They are owed this as human beings, as people. Again, I can't imagine growing up. I mean, I wish I was rich and famous, but can you imagine? You're fucking young and this and that, and you blow up, and they put these hints of the character of being sexually, confused or whatever. And they pay it off throughout the seasons in a legitimate, quality way. To where now in season 5, in order for them to fight the big baddie, Will's got to have his come out moment. He's got to come out. And guess what? It is fucking heartfelt. I do not in any way disparage anything about what its purpose was. Good for you. Fuck everybody else. You have a gay actor. You have a fucking movement type thing you want to get behind and show. Good for you. You have the right to do that. The Duffer Brothers have a right to make the whole fucking episode that. You know what? Make it. Oh, that was my stomach. I think I'm hungry. You can have, you know what? Make it a 2-parter. Where Will starts to come out, it fades to black, and then it comes back. But you know what? If you wrote it better, and you wrote it right, and intertwined all the storylines, it could have been epic. Because you could have changed things at the end. Because another fix for this stupid desert world with nothing in it, and the fucking asinine, annoying fucking sound bites about, oh, we're gonna have demo fatigue. And you have a guy saying, yo, we can't have nothing there. We gotta get some monsters there. You know what's an easy fucking fix? You get a fucking CGI quality Demogorgon army. You get a CGI quality demo birds, whatever the fuck they are. Dogs, mix them in. Have them on either side of this fucking valley that leads to the fucking thing. And you have people say, oh my God, we're never going to make it. What are they waiting for? No, they're waiting for us to get into the middle and they're going to fucking kill us. And everybody's flashing back to the people who were there to Eddie's fucking final moment, right? Like, oh my God, we're going to get killed. We can't fight these off. And you know what? Go fuck yourself with giving Steve and Dustin spears. Enough. I love Nancy, and she gives what's-his-name a flare gun, but stop it. We're not playing games in season 1 or 2 or even 3 anymore. Give these people weapons that could be fired and fucking used. That's just a side note. Whatever. Now, what's the easy fix? Joe, what did you do? You can't have them fight them all, right? No, you don't have to. What you had to do is, since Callie was in season 4 now in my retcon and has some connection to Eddie, and I'd rather see people grow and learn new things, not lose their power, get it back, and their power levels go up and down. What you don't know is that Elle learned Callie's power, or Callie's doing it. Will is not in the scene. When they walk into the desert, Will's not there. And if you want to play artsy-fartsy, when they're doing these tight shots and Will's talking to Steve and they get show in the background a footstep. Just a footstep in the sand. Not call out to it, no. And then what you find out is, as they get there, as they're getting ready to be torn apart, 5, 11, or 8 drops the cloak, and Will throws back a cloak, raises his arms like a wizard, and fucking mind fucks all the fucking creatures to fight each other. And that's it. There he is. In his glory. He's not afraid anymore. He's taking back the power. And then you can do it in a background CGI mess. You don't have to spend that much money. You don't have to have these characters. And then the characters got a fucking free space where fucking Nancy could, in a legitimate way, say, okay, you take that ridge, you take that ridge, you get it from above, we'll go in low, we'll hit this thing from 3 sides, and we'll give Elle and them a chance. Because Vecna is inside this spider fucking mind flayer creature. Then you not only have Will, because Will's, look, you wanted to make this show focus on Elle. You failed. I'm sorry, Duffer Brothers. Yes, she's a major part and she was the heart of the show. But you should have made it Will's show at the end. Now, everything still plays out the same, except Will is controlling all the creatures, fighting, making them fight each other. And whatever he does in the show as it is now, where he kind of helps with Elle's fight with Vecna, it just makes him bleed out of his nose more. It makes him go down to his knee and faint because he's not only helping all the creatures to kill each other and his friends to give the, I don't know, physical avatar of the mind player a kill. You know, because there are groups in the fucking mind world and the abyss and the mindscape. They got to free the kids if they can't. They got to trick Vecna into revealing himself, which doesn't make kind of sense because the kids they have power or they lie or they have weak minds. What are you convincing of? What does their conviction mean? Anything? So they have to believe in you for your power to consume theirs and draw on it to merge the worlds. But it doesn't make, like, these are the things you don't fucking need to bother with. Or if you do, you better put good work into it. Because the kids mean nothing. Callie puts up an illusion. Elle fights Vecna in the mindscape or whatever. He turns into a monster. All the kids know he's a monster. But then they do a stupid shit where Elle pushes him and Callie comes out and stabs him, goes to stab him in the chest. But she has to say hello, brother, first. This is where your bad habits as writing can go fuck themselves. Don't have her say anything. He just is that quick. You can't get him in the mindscape. He disappears. Stop it. Don't give people the fucking excuses, especially with Callie, who I kind of like, and you just didn't do her justice. I'm sorry. No, they got to escape now, and Max finally gets free in her episode. Yeah, it's fucking so long because not only are all the scenes in the mind cave and the fucking exposition finding out Vecna and what he was as a kid and how he found the guy with the suitcase and how it impacts his life and he killed his family and you know Robert Englund and all this shit that has to come together and combining it with season 4, but then you're retconning season 1 and 2 and who the fuck knows about how many parts of 3 because it's not really Billy then in the Mind Flayer, it's Vecna because, you know, when Elle was given the flashbacks and revealed that when she opened the portal, it was really Matthew Modine looking for Henry. Okay, fine. But no, we've got to have the disappointment, the breakup, and we got to have the great makeup with Dustin, but all these things have to happen. And then you go to this desolate world where there's fucking nothing. Where all these characters have to fight a fucking Godzilla-sized spider monster mind flayer. And it's just ridiculous. Because in the fucking mindscape, of course, they have this shit going on. And 5 gets shot and killed. Oh, no, I'm sorry. 8 gets killed. Callie shot. You can't save everybody. It was just like bullshit. And Murray with the fucking bomb. You're doing too much. You're muddying the water so much, and you should just focus. Again, if you're restricted to a certain time limit and you need to get there, readdress these lines, the quality of writing, give them what they deserve in the last season. It's not done. Again, you want to add to this? The stupid fucking shit they're wearing. I mean, stop it. Again, because this shit wouldn't really matter. To me, anyway. I'm just one of those people. You give me good writing, things work out in a certain way, I forgive these things. It smooths over. It doesn't stand out as a glaring crack with a fucking light shining at my eyes, like. And that's what this is, and we're going to get to the end now, because this is fucking too long for me. They are confronting the creature, Elle, 8's dead, so 11's got to go fight him. So she's fighting Vecna, and they're all fighting the physical thing. You know what? I love fucking Nancy. There's a scene in the fucking upside down, left side up, whatever the fuck, middle, where they're hitting the base, and she is with a machine gun, dressed as like Rambo, killing soldiers and mowing them down. Now, I agree with a certain mindset. Hey, assholes, you know you have to come back through the tunnel, right? You have to come through that base. Like, so, better be prepared. Ugh. So, again, it's all mishmash. It's way too muddied, but the fight is happening. Mike, Dustin and Steve stabbing up with the fucking things. Aren't you gonna wonder why they say no one died? This is for Eddie. I loved it. Great. But if you don't write it better and make it that it's Will stopping them all from dying, even if you're not going to do my retcon with the CGI, and he has to be stopping the blows of this creature and slowing it down, and that's being made apparent. He's confusing it. He can't get a beat on them. And fucking Nancy, fucking shotgun Nancy, fucking awesome, just shooting this fucking thing. And then they're throwing bombs at it. And I think even, does Lucas use his wrist launcher fucking thing? Like, okay, I get it. Just could have been fucking epic, man. This could have been epic, and it wasn't. Then you have 11 with the fucking, she comes through, she smashes this fucking Leviathan, Godzilla, spider, with a huge boulder, and she's jumping from floating boulder. She jumps into the creature's, I don't know, what is it, his mouth? Or is it, she opens a hole in it? It looks like a fucking, whatever. But she jumps through, she's in the center of this creature, comes to a roll. It's pretty cool. She's face-to-face, one-on-one with Vecna. Now, mind you, the kid bullshit is nonsense. They're stuck in your fucking tubes. Still, like, only Holly might have gotten loose, right? Because she pulled the shit out of her mouth like the Matrix. But it was like nothing. You not only had subpar writing and plot, you have a subpar conclusion and meaning and depth and weight. It just doesn't work. But Els fights Vecna. She's beating him, losing him. Will even helps. Awesome. Thought it worked. This is not super bad. It's a fight. She pins him to this spiky outcropping, pierces his chest, and he's dying. They've won for the most part. And you know what? Not only did I not give a shit that Joyce walks in and hits and chops his head like 5 times, I was actually happy for her. Now, when she says you fuck with the wrong family, it kind of didn't work for me. But I'm not begrudging this mother her fucking revenge. And I'm also not begrudging the look of fucking hatred and vengeance on most of the characters that the camera pans to. Because this fucking creature, whatever, if you want to call it the partner of the Mind Flayer, when you watch season 4, what he did to this poor fucking girl who went to Eddie for her fucking pot, I think she asked for something heavier, and he bends her bones, breaks her, breaks the jaw, crushes the eyes, and leaves them like broken puppets. And then if the retcons and backstory have any weight, yeah, you know what? You kill this fucker. You don't, because I think the actor in one of the things says, I was trying to say, please no, whatever. Not that he was saying anything about the whatever, but Joyce, the mom, fucking whacks his head to constant flashbacks, which I thought was right. It was good. Cut its head off. But again, if you're going to compound all these things, don't be surprised. There's no way people should be surprised with all the thumbnails about season 5, is a disaster. It destroyed everything. They're all over the place because me not even looking found them without even meaning to, just by doing what I'm doing now. I get it. But that's where I come on and do my stupid podcast and I give my impression of it. Yeah, I agree with a majority of these fucking stupid storylines. And what's frustrating is some of them aren't even stupid. They're made stupid. They have awesome qualities, but they seem to be just broadened out, just spread out too much. So we have the coming out of Will, which is a major fucking point for people to complain about. I love it for what it did, for what the actor did, for what the writers and the showrunners had the balls to do. It just could have been done better. And now they've got they kill the creature, Joyce beheads it. Let's get everybody back. Of course, they come through the portal and there's the army. So, of course, they're going to get everybody. We're going to put everybody into fucking, pens again or whatever. But L's missing. And they've got the sonic weapon going, so she can't use her powers, sort of. But they can't find her, and they find her at the mouth of the Upside Down. Where, because Dustin gave them the impression they could blow it up and it would cut off the worlds. And Callie's saying, yeah, when that happens, we have to die with it. So Elle is doing that. And she dies as the Upside Down is destroyed, cutting off, and it's sealed off, quote unquote. I'm doing the air quotes, forever. And everybody's like, no, my God, hell no, 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 no. And then we got like what? Almost an hour left of the fucking show. But you know what? Kudos to them. These fucking actors deserved it because, well, let's take the older actors when they're on the roof of the radio station. That's some of the best acting they've all done in the way they come off on camera. I'm going to say for season 5 because in season 4 to season 1, backtracking, they all had their moments. I just think Will was overused and put into his boyfriend place, whereas Steve came through in another way where his character grew into a loving character that made sense and came through in the end. Where Will was, the older brother just didn't pull it off. And that's the writing's fault, not the actor's fault. But when you look at them at the end talking to each other, Robin, Nancy, Steve and Will, one's going to art school or film school. Nancy drops out. And I love the fact that someone says, oh, you're gonna go into the special forces, right? Or something like that. Because she's a fucking gun freak and she killed everything and shot everything. No, she's going to be an investigative reporter type thing. And Steve is going to be a baseball coach or sports coach, let's say, sex ed teacher. And it's perfect. Oh, it's perfect. But these last scenes are the most relaxed looking real scenes. And maybe because they did another time jump and did they take them out of those stupid outfits? Because I wasn't too distracted. Anyway, graduation, pretty fun. Dustin giving Eddie his tribute. Awesome. They're not going to hang out with the girls. They're going to play D&D one more time. Fuck yes. Thumbs up. If it was up to me, I'd still be playing every week. More than once a week. But I still try to get together, even though everybody has their fucking kids and there's no real group, but good for them. And I love, you know what? Even the execution gets a pass from me. They finish playing. Will tells the story of this, everybody's life and where they're going to go as their characters and, imprinting that onto their real lives. It's a beautiful moment. And then he says the story I can't tell. And here's an issue that I have with the internet and the Duffer Brothers. There's no fucking way there's an ambiguity to this ending. Stop the bullshit. And for people joining this fucking club, just stop. There's no way Elle is not alive. I don't care if he frames it as a story that can't tell, and then after he tells it, Dustin is one of my favorite. He goes, I believe. And then they all say, I believe. So he tells the story of how 8 didn't die right away. She came to the realization, now this would have been awesome with my retcon. She had some moments with them where she realized, no, Elle can hide and she could have friends and people love. All her people are dead and she's got to die here. I knew my journey would end here. And that they reveal that she gave her the blessing to live. It's like that Godzilla -1 moment. Not in their quality, but, where you find out that he wants to live and the guy gave him a parachute type thing, where 8 says no. So 8 creates an illusion. That's how Elle was able to get out of the sonic kryptonite and be hidden. How she was able to go into the Upside Down and get destroyed because it was an illusion. And that Will believes that Elle went and found a magical place that has 3 waterfalls and she's got to live in secret for the rest of her life. Now, is this ambiguous? No. There's no doubt, because here's the only point that I can go to. If, and we all know there's a good chance, they make more Stranger Things spinoffs or continuations, how is it going to continue? Is it going to be Elle's not in it? Well, then it's a spinoff or something like that. Fine. But if she comes back, there's no way they're going to make a new plot to say, oh, she came back. We cloned a baby and we made another 11. It's identical. What? And then you can make a plot of, okay, you know what? You could do a plot where she's in the mindscape as an ethereal being and inhabits the new body. But what's more likely? Well, they're going to say, no, Will was right. Stop the bullshit. Fuck the showrunners and the fucking people who know. Elle's alive. And one of the reasons why what convinced me on the second watching, you didn't just narrate the story and tell it a certain way. There's a scene where they're all being thrown up against the wall by the army. Elle was right next to him. Right there. And then she disappears and she's gone. He can't find her. In the retelling of the story, the only way that makes sense to Mike, is if Callie was using her illusion power and casted a spell on her. If you cut that out, you could have it as a story that he just wants to think good. He just wants the positive stuff. He doesn't want to think about her really being dead. But stop with the shit that she could be really dead. There's no fucking way. Because you're actually showing the reason why she's the evidence that she's alive. And that it has to weigh all in that factor. There is no middle ground here. Yes, I guess because of the way it's written, it could be ambiguous. You don't really know she's alive or dead. But don't fucking tell me there's not a 95% chance that Will's right, because they're showing it. They're explaining it. This isn't like a wish fulfillment thing, like, or whatever. No, because the story, the writers, however failure they are, whatever they did, they showed you why she's really alive. So that's it. We got to do the fucking future thing. And one of my favorite scenes after that is, because it continues that scene with them, D&D, is as Mike's going up the steps and the mom's calling him, Holly, Derek, Dexter, whatever the fuck, they come racing down the stairs and they're going to play D&D. They're the new generation. Thumbs up. Fuck yeah. Fuck the audience. Like, this is the creators' way of doing this shit. I'm going to give them credit. And yes, just like I've done for God knows over an hour or so, this needed to be said and that. But you dropped the ball quality-wise, there's no doubt. And I got like a 3-hour podcast like most people now. And that's doing all the seasons. It's a series recap type thing. But these are just like my feelings and my thoughts. And I'm not an essay guy, whatever. But season 1 or 2 are my favorite. The quality drops drastically, in my opinion. Mostly in the writing. Everything else is like great. Even the special effects when they're using CGI, I deal with it. It gets smoothed over. The relationships, everything. These kids should win awards. They should be given lifetime awards. Kudos to the fucking showrunners, the Duffer Brothers, for doing it. As a whole, I love the show. Yes, 1 and 2 are my favorites, but yeah, I get my eyes roll here and there from places. I'm not going to go nuts, but I got to give credit. And I'm not going to hold back from the bullshit. You padded this. You got people in these writing rooms to help you who are fucking like idiots, in my opinion. You don't look over these scripts every week and not fix it. Not only that, you don't give me this bullshit about you didn't have time for certain things and you didn't have a script ready. That all seems like bullshit that should have been fixed, thought of way beforehand. I mean, oh, look, I talk about Buffy and the fact that we know Josh Whedon was a fucking jerk off, an asshole. No, I don't think he did anything like super drastic that makes me not like that stuff, even if it was a reflex. But yeah, I mean, whatever. I don't know. Did they have to be jerk offs? Maybe they were just too nice. They didn't want to see anybody die because it would be depressing. You know what? Good for you. But write the situations better. Have the setups, the action pieces set up where people aren't fucking complaining because you took this on yourself. Your fault. All your fault. Anyway, I think this is going to be a Memorial Day weekend thing. which is kind of fitting. I hope you're having a great fucking holiday weekend. Again, Stranger Things as a series recap hits me in the feels. Although I think season 1 and 2 are rewatchable over and over, a part of my wheel every year of doing things at certain times of the year and what I want to watch, without a doubt. But you know what? I'm going to even throw season 3 in there maybe, but season 4 and 5, no way. No way. I've never wanted to fast forward through people's fucking shit. The bully jock thing with the Hellfire Club bullshit. And again, it's just with all these other things that could have been elevated and made great. So have a happy holiday. Those are my feelings on the show. I wish you all the best. Have a great summer that's coming up. Great weekend, holiday. My best to you and yours. Take care.